Hi there guys, it's comments on comments time. I've not done one of these for a while, so there's going to be a lot to get through. The last time I did this, it got a little bit confusing, so this time I've got my videos here, as you can see, and I'm going to do comments specific to a video. So I've got the video in my mind, the comments make a lot more sense to me, and also there's going to be a lot of them that are quite similar, and I can kind of answer them all at once. So that is the way I'm going to do this. So let's jump into video number one. This video is the blueprint abuse. It's me driving up and down the motorway to get credits. I mean, there's better ways of getting credits. I just like this track, and I like making the driver tars do silly things. It's good fun. Let's have a look. You've got a sick amount of credits. Is that from the Goliath glitch? No, I don't do that on this account. I did the glitch on my other account, and I've got silly money on that one. Not crazy money. And I don't think I've got that much money on this. I do play a lot. I do a lot of racing. I do a lot of building my skill chain. I spend a huge amount of time doing that. And you just get loads and loads of wheel spins when you do that, and it throws money at you. And you just get a lot of money from racing. Although the very first time I did this glitch, the person that showed me how to do it, I'm not sure, but I think I might have been in my Katumi account when they showed me. So maybe I've done it once on this account. But yeah, I do all that stuff on the other one. Right, what does Jane have to say about that? So comments on comments on comments. Here we go. No, he sells cars worth 100 to 150 at 3 to 4 million at auction. No, I don't. Is that even possible? If the car's worth 100,000 to 150,000, how do you list it for 3 to 4 million? In fact, I think if you're a legendary painter, you can do that. If you put a paint on it or a legendary tuner, then that unlocks new limits for you. And I want to explore that a little bit, but I am not a legendary painter or tuner. So I'm certainly not doing this. I don't know where you got that idea from. He also buys cars from auction, takes cars and money from perks and resells the same car at a higher price. No, I don't do that either. Then he sells all cars he got from the perks for 20 plus million apiece. No, I don't do that either. I don't do any of those things. Oh dear. I don't know if this person is trying to be funny, just lying, or mistaking me for somebody else. But I don't do any of those things. I don't think those things are even possible. Maybe that's what this person does, and they are a legendary painter, so they're kind of saying, no, this is how you would make money. I don't know, but I don't do any of that. I have 35 million, 0 glitches, just lucky at the auction house selling Koenigsegg's and McLarens. Yeah, they throw money at you a lot, don't they? I have thumbs up some of these already. Jane. Leitonen, no he doesn't. So that's this person, you're correct. No I don't. I started going through these, as you can see, because I did put a reply and I thumbs up a few. And then I thought, I'm just going to make another comments on comments video. It'll be more fun and it's quicker. Don't use any glitches on this account, that's correct. Although accidentally I did use that one. No, but he does transfer credit from his second account via auction. At least he said he'd do it. Completely correct. I did say I'd do it, but I've not done it yet. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that. I don't really need to. I don't need any more money than I've got. I've bought the castles, and I think I've bought all the houses as well. Well, I've bought everyone I've come across anyway, and I've certainly got more than enough money for what I'm doing. I am a completionist. I do want everything in the game unlocked. I want every car. Now, I've bought every car over 5 million on my other account, so I've driven them all, I've seen them all, and, that satisfies my need to have them, but it doesn't satisfy my need to have, like, a complete account. So I do want my Katumi 74 account complete, but I've not finished the game yet, so I'm not bothered that I don't have every car yet. And you do get quite a lot of good cars on wheel spins, which is why I'm not buying them yet, so I'm not bothered about that. Once I've finished absolutely everything, if there's some cars I don't yet have, and I haven't got the money to buy them, then maybe I'll do some shuffling from my other account and sell the cars to myself for as cheap as I can. There is a Maserati that I absolutely love that I've got on my Game Hacks account that I do want to transfer to my Katumi account. I've not done it yet, and I'm kind of hoping I'll get it in a wheel spin, but if I don't, then I do want to transfer that car because the car is awesome. It's stupid easy to get credits in the game. Do 3 laps of the Goliath, 500,000. Never mind setting up circuits like this one and other videos with variants of similar stuff and wacky creations. No glitches are needed. Yeah, they throw money at you a lot. They even tell you how to do it because there's an achievement for 3 laps on the Goliath. This is very true. All this is completely true. Just drive, and I've probably got the money I've got. I mean, what am I on? 20-something million? I don't know, something like that. But I've also bought the castles, so that's another 15 million, and the houses and various other things. But I mean, I spend a lot of time just getting skill chains, and you get a lot of wheel spins when you do that, and wheel spins do give you a lot of money. So, I mean, to be honest, I should have a lot more money than I have, because I've got a huge number of duplicate cars that I keep deleting, and I could either sell them on auction, or I wish they allowed you to sell them back to the game, but they don't. That's my own comment, so I'm not going to comment on that. Just to be clear, before the route creator, all you had to do is to get 10 laps on any circuit in your favourite car. Yeah, again, they throw money at you. I think the idea here is, if you play the game the way it's intended, you get a lot of money very, very easily, which you do. Now, I play a lot. I don't go to work. I retired about 15 years ago. I'm not like 75 or anything. I'm 44, in case anyone wondered. But I retired a little bit after my 29th birthday. And since then, all of my income has come from things that I do on the internet. I run several internet businesses, and they're kind of automated, so I have an astonishing amount of free time on my hands. I do a lot of different hobbies. I play guitar, drums, piano, I draw, I paint, I go to the gym. I do lots of things. You have to when you have a lot of free time. But for this past month, I've been spending probably majority of my time playing this game. I really like it. I think they've done an awesome job on it. Now, when you play a lot, you do get a lot of money just from playing. So yeah, I do like doing, you know, glitches and exploits and all that kind of stuff. I just enjoy it. So I kind of do that kind of stuff because I like it. I like finding them. I like sharing them. So I sort of do it for that reason rather than building up credits on my own account. So it's more because I like it. I mean, I know how to do things like picking locks and stuff like that. I don't do it, but I like having the knowledge and I like being able to do it. And if you absolutely need to do it, you've got the knowledge there. So I sort of like that thing. You know, it's something I've always been interested in. I've always been interested in ways of exploiting things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I do them for my own advantage. I just like knowing about it and then telling other people. I'll be honest, I read his comment after seeing the video, and he just noticed that you've got 27 million. That's not a crazy amount. Other people have like 700 million. Yeah, completely true. I've got the same amount as you. I've bought the castles, and I've not done the Nissan or the Porsche exploit. Same thing again. They throw money at you. That MC12 looks like it's begging for a tune. I don't know if I want to tune it or not. It feels like when I tune a car, I make them all the same. I put them all-wheel drive. Well, I don't tune them. I just download someone else's tune. I want to learn about tuning so I can just tweak things a little bit. I like the idea of just, you know, tinkering under the hood, like you would in real life. But I don't really like the idea of just getting a car, taking the entire insides out and putting in a default car that you're using on every single car you've got. It seems a bit pointless doing that. It's like Turn 10 Studios has spent a lot of effort trying to get the cars. Well, they haven't. I mean, it's not a simulator, is it? It's a bit arcadey. But let's pretend that they've gone into a lot of trouble to get the cars like they are in real life. And there's a lot of different cars, like over 500 of them. So let's keep that variety. The thing is, if there's a car that I really like an old Maserati, for instance, and it drives like an old car and I want it to drive like a new car, yeah, I'm going to download a tune, I'm going to upgrade it because I want to use it because it looks beautiful. But I don't want to bastardize the cars to make them all the same. I like them as they are. But having said that, if I'm just hooning it up and down the motorway in the MC12, I get to 6th gear and then the car's just squealing. So you're right, it is begging for a bit of a tweak. Of course it does. This guy only glitches. No, I don't. I don't only glitch at all. I pretty much play the game as intended. I like finding glitches and sharing them, but I don't even really use them that much. He doesn't seem to know how to race correctly. I'm getting better. Has little to no knowledge of cars. So what? And no tuning experience. I've got a little bit of tuning experience. I tuned my Atom. I made it completely undrivable. I want to learn about this tuning stuff. I'm going to thumbs you up because you're right. I mean, this is quite an offensive comment, to be honest. I don't do this glitching thing that you seem to think that I do. I do find glitches and share them because I like it, but I don't tend to use them so much for myself. I just play the game. I am learning how to race better. I need to tell my fingers about the analog triggers are not digital. I find it really, really hard to just brake 70% and stuff like that, but I'm taking on all the tips that you guys give me and I am becoming a better driver. But there we go. Why would you tune the MC12? Damn, if you'd upgrade... I think this guy's saying pretty much the same as what I've just said. It's ruining cars. I agree with you completely. There's a read more. Yeah, this is dead right. This is exactly what I've just been saying. It just seems like you get a car, you swap it out, and you sort of... For me, it's bastardizing them. I like it when you get a car and then you go into the menu and it's a car that's got a body kit where it's an intended tune for that car. I really like that. Like the Mini Cooper S. I love the version of that with a body kit. It's amazing. I love driving that car. But that's like a real thing. So, you know, I agree with you. This is awesome comment here. I agree with this completely. But I have got to say that when it's a car that I think looks beautiful, but it doesn't drive very well, I'm going to bastardize the hell out of it. I'm going to put, you know, like a really good S1 or S2 tune in it. I used to just tune up to A-class because I found it difficult to handle the S1 and S2 tunes. But now I'm getting a little bit better at driving. I'm able to handle them a bit better, and I'm getting a bit better on my braking distances and stuff like that. So I've moved from A-class up to comfortably driving with S1 and a little bit with S2 as well. So obviously there is some improvement there. Oh, I've jumped. Oh no, that's okay. I'll have a beer and a cookie, please. Those cookies were delicious. Like, she bought a massive, massive box of them. There was no way we was going to get rid of all those. And she also bought a load of brownies as well. And she took the brownies to work and gave them to all her workmates in the office. So that wasn't very good. But we've got a huge box of gingerbread cookies. Hey Katumi, can you tell us what race you used? Excuse me. Oh my god, I don't know. I didn't check, did I? I forgot to show you which race it was. I'll check and I'll comment. Sorry about that. 1 second. I've got something stuck in my throat. The blueprint is called Kaching. It tells you in the description. Yeah, the blueprint is called Kaching, but where's the start point? Oh yeah, look. Yeah, but I can't find it. Yeah, that's true. Okay, easiest way is get to the designs and then search for any make under the username Katumi7. Can you do that? I think if goodness me, I didn't know you could do that. The way I normally find other people's tunes is I actually follow them on Xbox, like add them as a friend. This is what I've done with people's tunes other people's blueprints. So I follow them on Xbox, like add as a friend, and then when I go into the game, into the Creative Hub section, the blueprints, you can scroll along to the bit where it says friends and following, and then you can see all their tunes. So that's the way I do it. I don't know if there's a simpler way, because I hate the menu system. So this probably makes more sense. I did thumbs up this one, look. At 1358, it looks like North City cross-country circuit. It definitely was a cross-country circuit, so I think that's right. It's one that's on a vertical road, a road running north and south. And I'm pretty sure it's the cross-country. So yeah, I'm going to say that it is the North City cross-country circuit, but I'll double-check it. I did comment on this, but I wasn't able to check it because I wasn't here. But now I am here, and I'm making this video, but my Xbox is off. So, there we go. Just west of Edinburgh Castle. Yeah, I think that's about right. It's only just in Edinburgh, and I kind of really like that route. I did make a lot of variations on that route going up and down the motorway, starting from down in south, starting from somewhere in the middle, and starting from here. And I like this one. First of all, it's not really boring because you do a little bit of town driving, but not much. Mostly it's just motorway. But I like the way it loops round. If you start from some of the other places, it's a little bit difficult to get a nice loop. You tend to drive through the start line in the wrong direction and do a handbrake. And I just don't like that. It seems really messy. You don't even have to go off-roading. You just zigzag in the tunnels and it's ridiculous to watch. Oh, it's Major Balls. I like Major Balls. Leaves lots of awesome comments. I'll thumbs you up. I did do this and I have commented. Yeah, I said here, look. I tried that and they all crashed in the tunnels. But I did it on, I didn't actually do the race, but you know when it says you've now got to test your race? Well, I tested the race, and I had zigzags in the tunnels, and they'd all used sort of off-roady, quite big vehicles. I don't know why, but anyway, when they got in the tunnels, they crashed a lot, and they fell over, and they made a complete mess, and then they were in my way. And I was thinking, well, this is awesome, but it doesn't, I mean, all of them were in front of me, and by the time they'd all crashed, I then had to get through the pile of them that were just making a complete mess. So, not necessarily in the tunnels, but I think doing zigzags actually on the motorway, going right to the grass verge and then back into the centre. I mean, I might do one that does that, because, I mean, some are going to go off the side. The one that I've got on at the moment, I think I need to change it a bit, to be honest, because they get too stuck. What I liked on a previous one, I just went down and up once, and it was where the train track is, and they went down to the train track, and when they come up, they were jumping really, really high. It just looked absolutely awesome. Like, quite a lot of them made it back onto the road, which is why I sacked that one off, because I wanted to kind of give a blueprint with a guaranteed win. But it did look really cool, and it slowed them down enough to make me able to compete with them. So I'm going to play with this. I'm going to make all sorts of different ones, but I mean, I like racing them anyway, and it's funny when the driver tars do something that looks awesome. So I do have a video planned. I've had it planned for a while. For driver tar fails, so silly things that driver tars do. Now, when I first started planning this video and recording clips for it, I'm going to actually edit this one. It was before the blueprints could be created, before you could create the route, before that update. So there was only a few places where I could really put footage, but now we've got the blueprint creator, I can make driver tars do ridiculous things and just make a compilation of them. So that's what I intend to do, and it's going to be a lot of fun video. But what I did previously is every time a driver tar did something that I thought was funny, I got the Xbox to record the last couple of minutes, and I had like a whole series of these that I was going to edit together. Then my card was full from doing other videos, and without thinking about it, I just reformatted the card to delete everything, and I hadn't taken all of those little snippets off, so I lost them. So I've not started doing any more yet, but I need to do that again. I'm just going to make a compilation of funny driver tar fails, because it makes me laugh. It's funny. So I'm going to thumbs you up because you do that. Yeah, I started mine with display of drifting, just as you exit the tunnel. Just confuses the crap out of the AI. Yeah, they all bob and weave. It is hilarious. I mean, the only place I did it was in the tunnel, so I'm going to try it in different places. But yeah, they just got in my way. And I did another one as well. I think I've mentioned it somewhere. But I think I've mentioned it, so I'll come to it. Nice one. I usually do the ones just going up and down the motorway, but this looks like more fun. I agree. I used to do just up and down the motorway, but it becomes such a boring grind. You just sit in there, full throttle, top gear, just squealing down the motorway, go around the roundabout, go back again. It's not really much fun, but I think it's more fun when the driver tars are doing something silly, and it's more fun to drive a race when there's a little bit of variety in it. I mean, when I go into Edinburgh just a tiny bit, you can still do those roads at very high speed, and there's only like, 2 or 3 corners, but yeah, I think it's much more fun. Start point I forgot to mention, but it's whatever someone said just up there. Same question, blueprint in the description. Oh yeah, I've called it ka-ching. But I will be making more. I won't make a video on every one I make, that's just going to be a little bit silly, but I'll just make them and I'll put them on the thing, and if you're following me, then you'll see them. So if you follow me and you just go into the blueprint creator creative hub thing, you'll see which ones I've made, and some of them, sometimes you make one, it all seems fine, and then you race it and it says checkpoint miss, and it keeps resetting you, and then you've got to delete the whole thing and start again. They seem to have a lot of glitches with this system. So I mean, also in some situations you just come up with better ideas and things that work better. The one I've got up at the moment, this ka-ching one, I do want to change it so the driver tars stop teleporting, because that's just wrong. I like them doing funny things, I like guaranteeing that you'll win, but I don't want them to teleport all over the place. So I might make a new one and override this one, so it'd still be the same name, so you could still find it, but if you downloaded it, it would probably just disappear. So I'm going to play with this anyway, but I mean, you'll see if I make different ones. I don't know what you're yeeting at, but I'll thumbs you up. Abuse 3.0 just drives slaloms. The AI is so stupid, they will try to follow the line perfectly. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to avoid doing it in the tunnels because of what I said before, but I do like the idea of slaloms going to the edge of the motorway and then them falling off. It's just funny. I'll have a beer, good sir. Oh yeah, I commented. When my wife got home, I asked if she wanted beer or wine. I didn't know that. I was downstairs when I said that. I really didn't expect that to have picked up. So, there we go. Your videos are good, mate, but edit the parts out where you're away from keyboard. That's never going to happen. It really isn't. If I'm away from keyboard, just start playing it fast. I've mentioned this a little bit further down, so I'm not going to mention it now, but I will come back to it on a later comment. Which event is this racing, mate? Someone else has answered that up above. If you start at Alberston C Sprint, go up the motorway, then left at the top and follow the road down. This is confusing. By Derwent Water and come back around through the festival and then down through Broadway, 90 hard left and straight back. This is like when you ask for someone for directions and they tell you a load of stuff and then you drive off in your car and you immediately take the wrong turn and they just look at you and shake their head. So like, go down here, turn left, and then there's another bunch of directions and you just drive off and turn right. Oh my goodness. Right, if anyone wants to actually do this, I can't even, it's too early in the morning for me to read this, but it's a race that gives you a load of credits and a load of experience in a free lap race, 17 miles, 5.4 minutes. That seems to be pretty generous for a free lap race. We need to experiment with this and see what gives you the most credits and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I did say in that video, I did a 40-mile race where you only had to race for half a mile. And I just went onto the motorway, I put a checkpoint down, then I went into a field. I went up and down, up and down, up and down until I'd completely finished the field. Come back on the motorway just after the checkpoint, put another one down and then did it again. It took bloody ages to create, and then I raced it, come first, and I got, I think it was about 2,000 credits. So obviously they check how far you've driven, which is why driving up and down the motorway is such a good thing. It gives you money, but it can be a little bit boring. I'm going to thumbs you up because you went into a lot of effort there, but I'm not going to read it because I've only had half a coffee and it's now 7:30 a.m. Welcome to Good Morning Radio. It's 7:30 a.m. and we're doing comments on comments. Actually, we're doing comments on comments on comments on the blueprint abuse video and all that jazz. It worked like a charm. Had a small problem with checkpoint regs, but it's crocheted now. Yeah, I assume that's you as making your own. It's really annoying when it all seems to work and then you go and race it and it messes up the checkpoints. You've got to be really careful about going over the same bit of road twice. You also have to be careful about doing shortcuts onto the wrong side of the road and stuff like that. That seems to cause it to mess up with checkpoints, and sometimes it just keeps teleporting you back to a checkpoint and it just goes all wrong. Checkpoint missing after right turn to go back to start, tried new car, reset, nothing happens. Checkpoint missing after right turn to go back to start. So you're talking about the round coming up the motorway, roundabout, turn right, going back into the town. Now I had a lot of problems with this. I made this track a few times and I did have a checkpoint down near that roundabout, and it kept saying miss that one, so I got rid of it. I then had a checkpoint after the roundabout and it caused a problem. I tried cutting the roundabout out, so going to the right of it, and also going round it. So if you're cutting the roundabout out, then maybe try going round it and see if that helps. But if people are having problems with checkpoints, then I'll do another one and I'll do a lot more testing on it than I have on this one, and then I'll call it the same name and override this one. But yeah, the creating the blueprints obviously has issues. I think they're going to update it, and what I expect them to do, I expect them to do an update where if you've created a blueprint, it will snap your driver line to the middle of the road. That's what I expect, because if you imagine the blueprint tool, let's say if this is the way they created the actual in-game tracks, so they drove down the middle of the road the way they want you to drive, and all the driver tires are following this, and the driver tires are doing the driver line. And also, when you have driver lines switched on, that's the route they drove to create the tracks. It makes sense that that's how they created them, using a similar kind of tool. So now they've allowed us access to that tool, but we're not trying to create a game with good tracks. We're not trying to create a driver line, we're trying to exploit it and get extra credits. So they've given us a tool that can be abused. So I think what's going to happen in the future is there'll be an update and there'll be a patch that changes the way this tool works. I really expect them to change it, so if you're swerving from side to side of the road, they'll just snap it to the middle, or they'll give the driver tires the ability to ignore the exact line and just say drive on this road, drive on that road, drive on whatever side of it you like in the middle and all that kind of stuff. So I really expect that to happen. So I think that quite a few of the exploits that we're doing now with this particular feature won't work in the future. But we'll see what happens. I didn't even know you could create your own races. All the races where you can jump into a blueprint to change stuff, so these ones, just scroll to the right and you can create a race. So there you go. Hey Katumi, could you do a track with a few more laps? Yeah, I'm going to make it a little bit better, and then I'll do one that's like 10 laps, one that's like 20 laps, and whatever. So I'll just do loads of them because it's fun. As I said, I'm not going to make videos on doing them, but I will create more of them, and I'll just put them up. And if you follow me, you'll see, you can just search for them then, and you'll find them. So yes, I'm going to. Anyone can help me. I don't find the blueprint, and I follow Katumi on Xbox, what I need to make. So yeah, we've already covered this in previous comments, ways to find it. 1202. What? I need to check that out. What happened at 1202? Let me think. Oh, it's going to be the skeleton suit glowing. I've not checked it out yet either. But yeah, I was at Starbucks going through my comments, and whilst I was there, I read a comment where someone says it glows in the dark. And I've got it, but I haven't even put it on my character yet. And I didn't know it glowed in the dark, but that's going to be pretty awesome. So yeah, I think that's what you're talking about anyway. Whoops, my mistake. It was me that was wrong. No idea what you're referring to or talking about, but okay. I'll give you a thumbs up because it's nice to admit when you're wrong. How do you get this race? People have said that as well. Or do I have to set checkpoints myself? You can make a race yourself. You might as well. Make one, share it. People will use it and your race creator stats will go up. 950. I'll have my mouth closed now. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I actually moved away from the micro. I mean, they're gingerbread biscuits. They were so crunchy, but I was very aware that you can probably hear me crunching away on my cookies that I should have given to the children. I think I prefer my method of gaining credits with the highway race. It takes me about 15 minutes to do 5 laps, and I gain a decent amount without having VIP. Yeah, just go up and down the highway. I mean, I originally made a highway race starting from the bottom, up, down, stop, that was it. And I did some laps with that, but it got too boring, and I really didn't like the way it didn't sort of properly loop through the start line. So that's the reason that I've done this. But yeah, there are other races for credits. There's definitely some available just down. If you go all the way to the south of the motorway and then just below the roundabout, go in there and just look on popular blueprints. There'll be a stack of races in there that are just designed for you to go up and down. Look for one that's got the number of laps that you want to do, and if you don't mind just driving up and down, I find it a bit boring, but if you're only doing it for credits, do one of those. You certainly don't have to race mine. Just have a look around and see what suits you. So get an idea of how long it will take. I mean, do you want to just drive up and down? Or do you want to do something a tiny bit more interesting? Entirely up to you guys. Or just make your own, and then you can do whatever you like. I did the other race that you mentioned, the one that starts from the bottom and just goes up and down the motorway. Unbelievably good timing. Called Easy Motorway Up and Down. 10 laps, 3 minutes 30 each, 35 minutes of the race. Clean skill FE car, 450,000 credits. There you go, exactly what I was just talking about, guys. So, I mean, I find this a little bit boring, but it gets you a bit more money. So if you're only doing my race for money, don't do my race. Do this one. So it's called Easy Motorway Up and Down. And I'm pretty certain that this one just starts from the bottom. So the very bottom of the motorway, just south of that roundabout. And then you can just get a bunch of credits from this. I mean, look at that. 35 minutes, almost 500,000 credits. So use, what's a really good idea is to use a credit boost Forza Edition car if you're after credits. If you want wheel spins, if you've already got 20 on road race and you do these races with an influence boost car, then you're going to be getting a few levels up and you'll get wheel spins for it. So that's another way. So someone actually mentioned that in a comment and I said it was an awesome comment. Do you mind if I make a video on it? I've not made a video on it, but that's kind of what he was saying. He was saying get to level 20 on anything and then do races on that specific, race series, either road race, off-road or whatever, and you'll just get a load of wheel spins. And you can set up your own blueprint to do this. What difficulty was the race set to, and was it on automatic? That's entirely up to you. You can do that yourself. So, it is worth mentioning though, and a lot of people have told me this, I didn't realise, when your car is set to manual gears and you're creating one of these blueprints, you cannot open the map. There isn't a button to do that. But when you're set to automatic gears, you can open the map. So I'm also expecting them to fix this in a future update. So I really think there'll be an update that comes out and they're going to kind of tweak this, blueprint creation a little bit. Hopefully enable you to jump into the map whatever way you're driving your car. And also, I really expect them to be a little bit more vigilant on allowing the drivatars to drive just down the road rather than being forced to do your line. So we'll see what happens with that. You don't even need to be as subtle. Hang on. You don't even need to be as subtle as that with the extra distance. You could do a 2-mile detour and they still drive it. Yeah, I know this because I did a 40-mile. Well, I did a 39.5-mile detour through fields while I drive half a mile. And they do drive it and you do get the reward. But what I was saying with these detours is I expect them to patch this. I also did a race around Edinburgh where I just went around in a square. And every time there was a side road, I sent the driver tires up the side road. I made them go all around loads of roads and then come back to join the square. And then the next time there was one, they did it again. My race was a few miles. Their race was about 15 miles. It took me absolutely ages to make it. But again, you don't get the credit. So I was just kind of experimenting to see how we could abuse this blueprint system. But unfortunately, we couldn't abuse it as much as I wanted to. So yeah, this does work. You get no benefit from it because I think it just measures the amount that you drive. But I also do expect that if we're all driving a load of blueprints that were made with massive detours, there could be an update that comes out in the future where we drive that same blueprint and it says, hey, you've skipped half of the track, like you've missed a checkpoint sort of thing. So this is why I'm trying to only do slight detours. That was the idea behind it. Many people are posting this. It's just a matter of time if I completely agree with you. Can't find this race anywhere. Hopefully the previous comments will help you. I'll have a beer, mate. I can't believe you heard that. I was downstairs. Although, to be honest, this apartment is totally open plan. Downstairs is just basically one massive room. And then there's some open plan stairs that circle up into this floor. And on this floor, the room that I'm in at the moment, there is no door between me and downstairs at all. So my my cleaning lady is downstairs now and can probably hear everything that I'm saying, but doesn't speak a word of English. But hello to her anyway. Let's have a look. I feel really bad that I've just mentioned her. Even though, obviously, I'm speaking in English, I do still feel bad. That just seems not right. She'll probably bring me some coffee in a bit. That would be nice. So let's crack on. God, I feel like I'm being... it's making me feel funny. Next comment. I have something similar, except they detour twice at the roundabout at the end, quite a few times in between. One of the ones that I did on this is I just went up and down, and then at the roundabout, rather than detouring off, onto the roads around the roundabout, what I got them to do is I got them to drive onto the roundabout and just go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down until the entire roundabout on my blueprint was blue, and then they came off it again. And when I did the race, none of them finished. They just got onto the roundabout, drove around, and by the time I'd completely finished, they were still driving around on the roundabout. Now, when you're laying down these tracks, you've really got to pay attention to the map. If your line touches your previous line at a point after your last checkpoint, then it will kind of delete everything else that you've done. So when you're going up and down, like either in a roundabout or on a field or something, you can put the line really, really close, but don't go over your previous track. So when I did it in the field, I was doing like a farmer would plough his field, and then I did a similar thing on the roundabout. Now, what I also tried experimenting with, immediately after the start point, I sent them off into a field, and then I drew a pattern in the field. And they all drove around the pattern that I drew. I tried one drawing a love art. I tried one drawing a bunch of dollar signs, which was really difficult. And I did a few of them like that, and then I came back onto the road and just did the road. But those races all had problems with their checkpoints, so I didn't share them. But I kind of wanted to do something where I forced the driver task to do a detour immediately just to get them out of the way, and then I did the race. Then I started experimenting with the weaving in the tunnel, which was really funny, and I was going to share that one, but they ended up being in my way, which is the only reason I didn't. But I want to do more weaving in other places. But I think possibly my favourite so far was the one where they went down to the railway track and then back up, but nothing else. And they just did massive jumps. It looked awesome. It really did. And I'm going to recreate that and do a couple of scenes from that for my driver tires fails video. That's going to be one of the things on there. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. It will take me a while to make it. There's going to be some editing and I've got to put music on and that kind of stuff. But I'm looking forward to making this. I made a new course on the aerodrome track and made all the driver tyres end up flipping themselves onto their roofs. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making loads of stuff like this and then just get in a place where I can video it. They'll be driving around a course and I'm just going to sit there, you know, video them all jumping into a massive pile of cars, and that's just going to be one scene for the driver tyre fails. Your videos are too long, mate. No, they're not. I don't care. If you think they're too long, just don't watch them. Watch someone else's videos, or just watch them on fast speed, or just don't watch them at all. So, pretty much Goliath. Well, not really, no, because the Goliath is quite difficult. There are parts in the Goliath at the beginning that are quite hard to drive in a high-spec car. But, I mean, once you've got through Edinburgh and you're coming across the top of the map and all that kind of stuff, it's quite easy. It's just a big, long, round route. But the motorway is pretty much a no-brainer. You don't have to drive around the roundabouts. You can jump over them. And it's just full throttle, straight line, up and down. So it's not really the Goliath. This is just a way of having no skill at all to get money. People have answered that one already. Bottle of Budweiser, please. It was Budweiser. But it weren't bottles. It was cans. We went shopping and we always buy a case of beer when we go. We normally buy Colombian beer, like Club Colombia. It's probably what we buy most often. But they're normal size cans. And there was like a case of Budweiser where the cans were like thinner. If you ever buy Reds, it was like that. They're a little bit taller, they're a bit thinner, and there's less in them. But they were like really, really cheap. So I said to my wife, because we might as well get these, because when you drink a beer, you just have one, don't you? And if it's a big can or a small can, you just have one beer. You're not going to say, oh, these cans are small, so give me two. So it's the same number of cans. It was about half the price. So I was like, yeah, we'll get the Budweiser. And I don't know what day it is now. I never know what day it is. I rarely know what month it is. And sometimes when I sign things, I don't know the year, and it's really embarrassing. But that's what happens when you don't work. But anyway, we got this case of Budweiser, and every single time that we've had one, we've had two. It was a complete false economy, right? I said you only drink a can, that's what you do. But, I mean, every time we've had a can of beer, we finished it and we was like, do you want another one? Yeah, and me. I'll go and get another one. Whereas normally we would have had one. So I think we'll go back to Club Colombia. I do think that Colombian beer is really... I'm not a beer drinker when I lived in England at all. I just didn't drink beer. It makes me feel bloated. I just don't like the taste either. I don't know why other people drink it. But in Colombia, I really like a Colombian beer a lot. It's let's move on. I did this 2 days in a row now. I imagine you got quite a lot of money then, but it's a bit boring. Second comment, love your work, bruv. Thank you very much, Marcus Scotty. You are the man. Thrasher X, are you a skateboarder? I'm a skateboarder. Well, I used to be. I was a skateboarder in the 90s. I now am a snowboarder and a kiteboarder. Because I don't work, I do have a lot of hobbies, as I said. I was a skateboarder for a really long time. And as you get a little bit older, so as I got into my 30s, you tend to break bones quite easily. So I've now broken 11 bones in my body. And you also look a little bit silly on a skateboard unless you are amazing. Like if you're Rodney Mullen, you're always going to look good on a skateboard. Like, he's my favourite skateboarder by far, obviously. But, I mean, if you're 44, like I am, and you're not an epic, legendary skateboarder that invented almost every skateboard trick there is, when you get on a skateboard, you do look a bit stupid. Now, I can still pop a decent kickflip, which looks good. So if I see a bunch of kids playing on a skateboard and I chat to them and have a go, I'll go, oh, let me have a go, and I can ollie very high. I can ollie a normal size bin quite easily. So I can ollie about waist high. So I can do things like that, and I can successfully land a kickflip or a heel flip, or like a varial flip. Anything else, I think I'd really struggle with these days. But yeah, I was a skateboarder for a long time. You might not even be a skateboarder, but with a name like Thrasher, you must be. But I also snowboard. I haven't been for a while, but my friend John, who is the guy who I've mentioned a few times in videos, he's very, very anal on games. And if he doesn't get a perfect line, he will restart. And if I race against him, it's just so much fun for me pushing him off the track. It really is. So John is going snowboarding in January. I'm not sure where, but I might go and meet him. I'm a bit undecided yet. I might not. But he's also planning to come over. He lives in England still. So he's planning to come over to probably the Rockies next year. And then I'll fly up there and we'll go snowboarding together. I've never been to the Rocky snowboarding, but it looks much nicer than where I normally go because it's nice and wide. But because I'm from the UK originally, I just used to go to France or Austria or those countries because it's just close and it's simple. But what I tend to do a lot more of is kiteboarding on a land board, like a dirt board. I don't go kite surfing. I can't surf. I've never tried that. I wouldn't mind getting into it. But what I do is go up and down the beach. So a couple of years ago, Cleethorpes in England, and also I did Blackpool. But Cleethorpes Beach is, when the tide is out, is massive. I mean, my friend and I, we were going up and down that beach. It's got to be, well over a mile, the stretch that you're going. And the wind was just perfect. So I just got my kite held in position. I didn't even have to work the kite or anything. Going ridiculous speed along the beach. Beautiful, glorious, sunny day. There was nobody else anywhere. You could just see beach for miles. It was incredible. And I had like a little portable, quite a decent portable speaker attached to my harness as well. And just listening to music going up and down the beach with my friend Michael, who unfortunately is no longer with us. A few months ago, as I have mentioned in a previous video, my friend Michael had a heart attack and died. That was the guy who I did go kiteboarding with. He introduced me to kiteboarding, and we used to go away together. So it was really good that I got the opportunity last year and the year before to go away with him on a couple of holidays kiteboarding. He was a really awesome guy, and it is such a shame that he was taken away from us so young. He's a few years younger than me, so he was only, I don't know, maybe 41. So yeah, a bit of a shocker. But unfortunately, I couldn't get to go to his funeral because I was here and he's in England. I mean, I don't think that would have mattered. I did send him a message on Facebook saying goodbye and said, "You are very, very welcome to come and haunt me anytime." And then my wife, who is terrified of anything to do with the supernatural, read the message and said, "No, no, 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 he's not. He can't come and haunt us." And every time now there's a noise in the house, she gets a bit nervous about it. But incidentally, my friend Michael used to always say to me, "You've got to get on YouTube. You need to get on YouTube." He says, "You want to get on YouTube, just speak on YouTube. People will love it." So and I was like, "Oh, I don't know." I've had a lot of YouTube accounts for more serious things, various businesses and stuff like that. I've got quite a lot of YouTube accounts for doing different things, but never for just mucking around, playing games, telling stories, just being me. I've never had one for that. And he insisted for a long time that I should. So I'm kind of hoping now that he sees that this is really quite successful, surprisingly so. He's looking down on me and smiling because he told me to do this for quite a long time. So now I am. So there you go, Michael. So that was a bit of a detour, wasn't it? Just because your name is Thrasher. Let's move on. Something isn't right. Heading back to the start after the roundabout, it seems like the checkpoint doesn't work most of the time. Across 3 attempts. I tried going through it multiple times, it doesn't register. Edit. Tried again, and right as coming up to this checkpoint, I start dropping positions, and the checkpoint won't. Okay, a couple of people are having the same problem. I will make another one, similar, and I'll call it the same thing, delete that blueprint and put this one up, and then it will be fixed. But yeah, they do fuck up sometimes, and I had a lot of problem with that section, and I think it's because that's the bit where I go across to the other side. I'll play with it and see. I think what might be a better idea, if from the beginning I go the wrong way round the first roundabout and then go down the motorway on the wrong side and then come back up the motorway, so I'll go down on the west and come back up on the east, so I'm driving against the flow of the traffic, and then when we turn off at that middle roundabout, we're not cutting across the carriageway. So doing that will probably solve this problem. But yeah, on previous tests on this particular setup, I did have some problems on that area, but I thought I'd solve them all. Put damage on realistic makes it hard tyres slide too much and I couldn't finish. Don't put damage on realistic, makes it hard. My tyre slowed much and I couldn't finish. Interesting. I didn't even think about that, but obviously you're going to get more credit if you put your damage on and your tyres on and all that kind of stuff. So if you can drive like that quite well, then put that stuff on. I assume that people that are really good at driving would be able to do this. I'm glad I thumbs them up so now I know where they are. Because you can't drive. Yeah, right. People that can drive just seem to think that the rest of us should be able to do it. But no, we can't. If I put my damage on full, realistic tyres and fuel, I'd be all over the place. Because not all of us are that good, but we're learning. We're getting better. I did 20 laps of the first AI abuse race and got 700,000 credits and this kind of stuff. Fuck 20 laps. Right. I mean, on Forza, not so much on Horizon, but on Forza Motorsport, I love setting it to 50 laps, especially on Prague or Bernese Alps. I love both those tracks, usually in a 1970s Formula One car or the Indy car. But I really like the Niki Lauda car, the red and white one. I love that car. And also there's a little Ferrari as well from the same era. And driving, I mean, the Prague track looks spectacular. I love it. I'm not very keen on the Rio de Janeiro track that was added on Forza Motorsport 6. I don't really like that. But I really don't like the one in the desert. I can't remember what it's called. The Abu Dhabi one. I don't like that at all. I think that was when they added that, obviously it's like, yeah, it's the Xbox One, you know, it has all this amazing power, and we have the ability to make these really beautiful, realistic cars. And now here's a load of sand for you to drive around. It just looks, you know, it's just too boring. There's nothing exciting about it. But yeah, the Prague one is beautiful, and I also like the Bernese Alps one because it's so easy. I've said this many times, but I'll say it again. The Bernese Alps track, the driver tires slow down far too much for quite a few of the corners. So you can set it on unbeatable and, you know, slap it on 50 laps, and it's a lot of fun, and you're going to lap them. I do that in the IndyCar regularly. I really like it. I did notice on Forza Motorsport 7 that you can now do 1,000 laps. So I love the idea of having a go at that. Now, what I would also like to do, I'm not sure how long that would take. It would take a long time. 50 laps takes a long time. As you've probably noticed, I don't like rewinding. I don't like pausing while I'm racing. I like it to be like it would be in real life. No rewinds, you make a mistake, you've got to deal with it. No pausing, you've just got to race because you're in the car. You can't pause a race when you're actually driving a real race. So I like the idea of maybe doing 200 laps. I think 1,000 might be a bit much, but not allowing yourself to pause, not allowing yourself to rewind. And I kind of wish that deactivating the start button, like the pause button while you're racing, was one of the things that gives you bonus credit. I wish they would add that as a feature because I would use that. So I'd say 20 laps or 50 laps or 100 laps or whatever, and then don't have the ability to pause, don't have the ability to rewind, and then just do it like it would be in real life. I like this, and I also think what they should do is, I think different views should give you bonuses as well. Now, they do this a little bit on Forza Motorsport. You have those dare cards where you can say it has to be in cockpit view or something like that. And I mean, I race in cockpit view anyway, so it doesn't affect me, but I like it when you can kind of lock the car to cockpit view and restrict yourself in such a way that you are forced to drive in a fashion that's quite realistic. It'd also be interesting if there was an option to say completely turn off all of the hood. I know you can do this, but it should be a little bit extra reward. The more realistic that you can make it, the more it should reward you with credits. So that's what I'd like to see. That would be pretty cool, actually. Done it in my super-powered Transit. Done it in no time. So I assume this is Sabine Schmidt driving around in a Ford Transit. It says Judy, but I imagine this is supposed to say just, and it was just an autocorrect has changed it to Judy. Perhaps you know someone called Judy and you type their name a lot. So I used to have a guy that worked for me, right? And he used to, basically, in one of my businesses, he worked for me doing support emails and all that kind of stuff. And I just left him to it. But every now and again, I would dip into the emails just to see what he was replying to my customers and just make sure everything was going along fine. And what's just happened here to you, happened to him. So I assume you were trying to say just. You might know someone called Judy, you might type it quite often, so your phone has gone Judy instead of just. Now, it appears that this guy that used to work for me used to write the word penis quite often, because he replied to one of my customer support questions with an email. Everything made perfect sense, and then all of a sudden, where there should have been a normal word, was the word penis. I was like, what have you done? Because like, did you reply to this on your phone? He's like, yeah. And he goes, look what your predictive text or autocorrect has done. You need to read these before you send them. So yeah, he sent that to one of my customers. Ugh, but there you go. Is it worth upgrading? Can you even control it on the curves? What speed does it get to? So there you go, answer all those. I mean, an upgraded Ford Transit, probably, if they're doing it in no time in a superpowered Transit, probably it's good. I find that most of the cars are pretty good when you upgrade them, if you're downloading a tune from someone that knows what they're doing. You've probably seen me driving my three-wheeled Morgan. Usually I try to drive it into a church. Oh my god, that video was so funny to make. And I can't believe that if you do the driver signs, they give you this massive ramp. I can't believe that that ramp was there, because there is the ability to get on top of the church from doing what I was doing. So I just naturally assumed that's the way it has to be done. I just thought it was a tricky board to get. I can't believe they practically give it to you. But yeah, a few people have commented they'll have obviously done the same thing that I did. But it made me laugh. But yeah, that Morgan is so nice to drive with the tune. I'll reply to this one, look. 135k with 3 laps. I'm doing the same race, but I won't turn right at the middle roundabout. I go straight back up. Oh yeah, I mentioned this previously. Now, I did do this. I started on the same place as this one starts, and I went round in the little triangle, and the bit where there's that kind of like the tram on the left, as you're going towards the roundabout, there's sort of like a tram stop or bus stop or something on the left of the road. Well, I was going along that road, going down the motorway, coming back up, and then coming along that same road again, and then round the triangle. But I was a little bit ahead of the rest of the driver tires, and when I went around the triangle back on that road, they were all coming towards me, and I just had a head-on collision with everybody, and it was a nightmare. That's why I changed it to coming out at that roundabout a little bit further south and going around the loop. And I actually prefer driving this as well. I like this drive. From that roundabout where you turn right and then come back round to the start, I like that, you know, going over that little bridge, the little hill, and then coming down the slope, that left-hand turn. I like that track. It's nice. How is this a road race, light blue for you? For me, it's a country race. When you create the blueprint, you can choose which one. What this person just said here. So you can choose it to be whatever you want it to be. The starting point for that one immediately goes off for a cross-country race, but when you start it, you can drive wherever you want. I really wish that they would add the ability for you to start anywhere you like, because then obviously we could start on the motorway, go up and down the motorway, and then just go back through the start place. So that would be nice. Good to know that it's predetermined when the game gives me 2,000 instead of what? Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mentioned on that video that I had a super wheel spin, and it gave me 5,000, I think it was 40 or might have been 10, and then a motorbike helmet. And when it was saying collect your prize, I clicked my Xbox button, went over to the Forza Horizon tile and quit the game, and then loaded it up again. And when I loaded it up again, it said you've got a wheel spin. So I went back in and got the super wheel spin again, and it gave me the same stuff the second time. So I did it 3 times, and every time it gave me the same stuff. So I was just trying to see whether or not, if we got a wheel spin that we didn't like, I mean, the super wheel spin's more because it takes a while for the game to load, and it's not worth it for one wheel spin. But I tried just to see if you could reload the game and get a different super spin until you got something awesome, like a, you know, like a 10 million credit car. But it doesn't work. So there we go. That's all that was. Has anyone found this race? Right, I'm not even going to bother reading any of these because you... North City Country Circuit. There we go. Done. I love your content, the story time from your previous video, and all this mid-video pauses. Keep up the good work. Now, I actually replied to this, and I did say to the previous video where they said edit it. It's not going to happen. And this is... I did say I'd mentioned it later, and this is where it comes in. Right, you can read my reply, but I'm making these videos as much because I enjoy doing them as I am to provide entertainment for you. If nobody watched them, I wouldn't be that bothered, right? I know someone left a comment saying something about you use the same thumbnail, a little picture, as popular YouTube channels because you're trying to copy them, and I don't. I used that because I just found a picture of the game. I chose a colour font that contrasted nicely with the picture and then wrote on the picture what the video was about. I didn't look at anybody else's, that's all I did. I'm not trying to get more subscribers. But now that it's become successful, I'd like more subscribers. I really would. So I might start promoting it. One of the reasons I changed my name from Game Hacks to Katumi is because if you search on YouTube for Game Hacks, you're not going to find it. Now, my wife said, "What's your YouTube thing? I want to show people at work." So I said, "Oh, it's Game Hacks." And she searched and she couldn't find it. So I thought, well, you know, if people are trying to find it from my name, it's difficult to do. So that's one of the reasons I changed it to Katumi. But now that I have got, you know, not loads of subscribers, I'm about 8,000 at the moment, which is pretty good. And most of them have come from just these Forza videos. I kind of like this community and I would like to get more subscribers, but I'm not doing it for that. But I mean, I was saying this to my wife last night. Yesterday, I employed somebody to take over one of my businesses. I'm going to split the profits with him 50-50. He's going to run the business. I set it up. I did all the programming. I'm just going to leave him to do the maintenance. It only takes a couple of hours of work per week. So it's a very generous offer that I've given him. But that frees up a little bit of my time. Because what I love doing, I love coming up with new businesses. I love creating them. I program various different computer languages. I can write PHP. I can do MySQL databases, and I do JavaScript and things like that. And I create businesses based on ideas I have that use those languages. And when I'm making them, I love it. I'm excited about it. I'm motivated. I'm working on it constantly, and I love it. And I run several businesses that use this. They kind of leverage those ideas. And then as soon as it's done, the ongoing maintenance, updating, upgrading things, dealing with customer support, processing things, all that kind of stuff, I find that a little bit boring and monotonous, and it feels like anybody could do that. It's kind of like monkey business. So I'd rather pay someone to do those things for me, and then it frees up my time to do things like coming up with ideas and creating new businesses, which is what I'm now in the position to be able to do, because the guy who I employed yesterday is now taking care of the everyday things. Now, when it comes to stuff like YouTube, I love doing this. Doing exactly what I'm doing now and sharing with you guys, I used to do anyway by myself. I never used to give myself running commentary as I was playing the games, but I like doing that. When I'm playing and talking, it's more fun. And then when I share the videos and I get comments back off you guys and feedback and ideas and, you know, it's just more fun. I really enjoy it. So what I'm doing now is spending a lot of time doing something I really enjoy doing. And I do make money from it. I don't make a lot of money, but obviously my videos have adverts on them, and I make money from those adverts. Now, yesterday or the day before, I think, someone sent me a message saying, "I want to sponsor your YouTube account." Now, I've had a look at their business, and their business looks legit, and I also had a search through all my comments, and a couple of people have actually commented on my videos saying they've used their business. It's one of those services where you can buy in-game currency. So they want to sponsor my YouTube account. So obviously that's going to generate more of an income from me from this. So when I'm looking at it from that side of things, that was never my intention. But if it's going to make money, then obviously more people is a good idea. So I really, really should build up my videos. But that said, this guy here, Nico P, I'm always going to make videos that you like. The videos I make are me being me. My personality, no editing, no, it's just no polishing. It's just me being me. Now, some people will like that because they will click with my personality, will get on. Other people will clash with my personality. They'll think they're too long. They'll be annoyed when I say, "Just a sec, got to go and answer the door." Some people will like this, some people won't like it. But I mean, there are a lot of YouTubers that have very nicely polished videos. They have an intro, which I think is pointless. That's just wasting your time. It's like if you go back to the days when everyone put a flash animation at the beginning of their website that you had to sit through before you got to the website. There was a period of time where everybody did that. What a complete waste of time. Now nobody does it because they want to get you to to buying a product as quickly as possible. So the industry's changed. But, I mean, I'm probably never going to make an intro for my videos. I don't really think it needs one. I'm probably never going to really polish them. What I am going to do is get a better microphone. At the moment, I'm still using my Apple headphones, so I need to sort that out. So I will get a better microphone. And also I did change the way I was recording so that it improved the frame rate and things like that, because that's just not nice. Watching a video that's got bad frame rate and shitty volume and bad quality audio, that's not a nice experience. But I'm hoping that my subscribers are my subscribers because they're subscribing to my personality and the fact that I do go off topic. I do get distracted. Someone left a comment the other day saying, you get distracted so easily, have you got ADHD? I haven't, but I am slightly on that spectrum. I am slightly Asperger's. I am dyslexic. But I mean, I was those things before we knew what those things were. So when I was at school, for instance, if there was some black text on a white background and I had to read it, I couldn't read it. All of the words swap places. And usually when I read, what I'm reading isn't what's written down. I read out something that kind of says the same thing, and I don't do it on purpose. I just can't help it. And I used to read, like, I can remember when my niece and nephew were very small, and my sister used to make me read them bedtime stories. And I'd read them a bedtime story just thinking, yeah, this is normal. And when they learnt to read, they would say, that's not what it says. This isn't right. And I'd look and I'd be like, oh my God, you're right. That's not what it said. So I was reading something that wasn't even there. Now, when I was at school, I noticed that anyone who's dyslexic quite badly will be able to relate to what I'm about to say. What would happen with the words is, to me, they were very noisy. And that's the only way I can describe it. They had a volume. And sometimes, if it was printed black text on a white background, the noise was too much. And the letters would vibrate and the words would shake. And then they'd swap places. So that's what I could see. So when I'm trying to read it, everything's all over the place and in the wrong order. So I kind of look at it and then I get a general gist of what it says. And then my brain gives me a sentence that I read out, and that's what I see. So that's kind of like a form of dyslexia. So yeah, most certainly there is things going on in that direction. Now, I also did some self-tests on the internet for Asperger's, and they all come back saying that I was quite high on that as well. But I mean, I don't care. To me, it's just a different personality that's been given a name. So I don't care about any of those things at all. But I must say that at every place I've ever worked, I've always got into a lot of trouble because I have a lot of problems with authority. So I've been fired from quite a few places. I was thrown out of university as well, and various things like that, simply because I find it difficult to understand. I take things too literally. So I can remember I was at school in French, and I was drawing on the back of my exercise book, and the French teacher slammed a ruler on my desk, and she said, "Are you going to pay attention, or do you want to go out into the corridor and draw?" And so I looked at her and thought for a bit, and I said, "I'll go to the corridor." And I just got up, went into the corridor, and started drawing, thinking she was giving me the option. And then, and I mean, that's kind of like a little bit of an Asperger's thing, I think. Someone else commented on their comment saying, what a mean thing to say. I don't think it's a mean thing at all. I really don't care what people label my personality. That's just my personality. And I think for a lot of reasons, that's why I'm successful in certain areas in my own businesses. I run a lot of successful businesses, and I think that my personality is the reason they are successful. And I'm quite popular. I have a lot of friends and things like that. I spent a lot of time being a DJ, and I've done various different entertainment jobs, which have probably only worked because of that quirky personality. I'll tell you another very literal thing that used to happen when I was a child. It's like your parents would say really stupid things. It's like, I didn't like mashed potato. So my dad said, either like it or lump it. So what the fuck does that mean? So I was thinking, well, I don't like it. So I used to put it into like a lump on my plate. You know, like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where he lumps up his mashed potato to make the mountain. That's what I used to do with my mashed potato. So I thought, if I'm lumping it, I don't have to like it. I won't have to eat it. And then another thing he used to do, which also really confused me as a child, my clothes would be on my bedroom floor. And he'd say, you're going to pick up these clothes or I'll throw them out the window. Right? And I was thinking, no, he used to say, pick up these clothes or I'm going to put them in a bag and throw them out the window. That's exactly what he said. He'd put them in a bag, he'd throw them out the window. Now, the laundry room was downstairs, right? And it was quite close to the back garden. You could go from the back garden through a door to the laundry room, okay? Now, my bedroom was upstairs. So I had this choice. I could pick up all my clothes and carry them downstairs to the laundry, or I could wait for my dad to pick them up for me, put them into a bag and chuck them out the window onto the backyard. And then I could go and pick them up off the backyard, walk through the door and put them next to the washing machine in the laundry room. So when he used to say that to me, I mean, I understand what he was saying now, but when I was a kid, I genuinely thought that even though he was shouting and looked angry, I thought that that was an option that he was presenting me with. So I chose for him to pick them up, put them in a bag, throw them outside, and then I'd go and put them next to the washing machine. But he never did it. And I used to think, why doesn't he do it? He keeps telling me he's going to do it, but he's never done it. So as you can imagine, growing up and having literal experiences like that all the way through my schooling got me into a lot of trouble. So I was always in detention. I mean, the year that I was at school, I left secondary school in 1990, and my brother, who was 2 years older than me, he got the cane. So there was he got actually hit when he was at school. But when it was my year, when I entered secondary school, the cane had been banned. We didn't have that anymore. But what they used to do is hit you with a ruler. So you used to have to hold your hand out, and then they would wrap your knuckles with a wooden ruler. So I used to have that happen to me a lot. I used to get into a lot of trouble, usually because I didn't understand what a teacher was saying to me when they were telling me off. I mean, what's the point of saying to a child, do you want to go outside and draw? Yeah, absolutely I do. I'd much rather do that. French is boring as fuck. I would much rather go outside and draw. So that's what I did. And another thing that happened at school, this was in geography. And I'm quite a good artist. I can do caricatures and that kind of stuff. And I was doing a cartoon of my friends on my exercise book. I was just drawing on the back of the book, doing a cartoon of my friends. And my geography teacher saw me doing this. And she stood and she watched me for a bit. I didn't realise she was there to begin with. And then she went, that's good. Says, for the rest of the year, if I move you around the classroom, can you draw everybody? And we'll put them on the wall. I was like, yeah, okay. Now, this was just before my GCSEs in geography. So for several months, I did no geography at all. I mean, she was a temporary teacher. She was about 21 years old. She was extremely attractive. She used to wear see-through culottes and stand in front of the window, and she knew all the guys were checking her out. She had a little sports car. What was it? I think it was a TR7. But she used to, if we wanted to bunk off someone else's lesson, she would give us a lift into town. And she used to go and put bets on horses for us, gambling and stuff like that. So yeah, we could bunk off someone else's lesson and she would drive us into town so that we could just hang around in town instead of being at school. So she was a temporary teacher. I don't know how long she lasted there, but I mean, she was there when I left. But I can't imagine that she lasted very long because she wasn't good. But she was really attractive, so every guy at the school had a massive crush on this teacher, and she was quite young as well. So yeah, I imagine she was only about 21. But yeah, she got me to move around the classroom drawing every single person in the class, and then she put them on the wall. But because of this, I didn't learn anything for the last part of the geography year. So it comes to the exam, and there were these questions. I thought, I've got no idea. I don't know what this is. So I flunked geography simply because my teacher wanted pictures of my classmates around the walls. But never mind. Doesn't really matter. I don't think geography is that much of an important subject, really. I mean, who needs to know the average rainfall in Nigeria in 1984? I mean, that was something I learned when I was at school. Did they really need to teach me that? I don't think so. I don't want to get too political, but I do think the schooling system is really designed to make people compliant and nothing to do with educating people at all. It kind of de-educates people and it forces people to be compliant and obey rules and not question. Now, because I didn't really fit in at school, I am now a little bit non-compliant. I don't obey many rules at all, and it means that I get in trouble, but I have a lot more fun than most people. So there we go, moving on. So that slight tangent was all because of Nico P. So there we go. Let's get back to comments. I'll say it again, this sort of thing makes no sense. Credits are so easy in Forza Right. I completely agree with you. The only reason I do all this stuff is because I just like it. It's fun. I enjoy exploiting. There's no point in me saying this again because I've done it so many times on this video already. Hashtag stop driver abuse. No. Hashtag no. Oh, I need to reply to this one because I can't thumbs it up. Where's hashtag? Oh, God. I've got a Spanish keyboard set. Hashtag no. Hashtag it's fun. Hashtag try it. Hashtag you might like it. Hashtag what could possibly go wrong? Hashtag sponsored by Dr. Pepper. There we go. Right. Wow, my blueprint is 5 laps, 25 minutes in an S2, 99,300 credits. Is that good? Is my moneymaker... well, it must be good because this person thinks it's not possible. So if they think it's not possible, it must be good. I swear it's possible. Well, just share it. Share the thing. I don't know what the fuck did you write in the original post. 99.3 million per 25 minutes. You lot can argue it out amongst yourselves. The Moorhead Wind Farm race gives me 317,000 credits and 85,000 influence in just 30 minutes for 50 laps. Jesus fucking Christ. So it must be a really small circuit if you're doing 50 laps. My easy mode way up and down. So this one's been mentioned a couple of times. Oh, so this is the person that made it. So good 666 boy. So it's a good boy with a little bit of a devilish side. I'll tell you, my mobile phone number ends in 666, right? And I needed to phone my niece, which is someone I'd never normally phone, but it was, I don't know why, it might have been something to be birthday presents or whatever. But she didn't have me in her phone. And she was in the back of my sister's car when I phoned her. So my number came up on her phone. And because the number was 666, she wouldn't answer it. She goes, Mum, look, someone's phoning me. And the number's 666. I'm not answering that. So, yeah. I mean, she's not like a small girl either. She's actually, this month she's 21. So her birthday's in November, a little bit later, but she'll be 21 this year, which makes me feel old that my niece that was a tiny baby that I was carrying on my shoulders around Disney World is now 21 years old. So I need to find a present for her. So, I mean, these days, because I'm in Colombia, what I do is I buy stuff off Amazon, I have it all delivered to my parents' house, and then my parents have to wrap it and give it to different people. So that's what I'm doing for birthdays now. So, or I've been having a good look through, what's it called? Dude, I want one of those. Hang on, I've got it on my tabs now, so I'll just open it up. Right, this website is called dudeIwantthat.com. Let me just scroll to the top. If you've never been on here, it's bloody awesome. So it's just awesome gadgets. Oh, these ones are quite boring actually. But they have some really, really good idea, awesome things in here. Remote control tanks that shoot BB things. And that's a Rubik's Cube for idiots, the boob cube. There's just so many cool things on here. I buy a lot of presents from this. But sometimes when you click on them, it's actually a Kickstarter product. And the actual product itself isn't actually ready yet. But yeah, I'm not finding good examples right now, but I mean this bin here, it's just really tiny, it goes on your desk. You can put paper clips in it or something. But yeah, if you've never seen this website before, have a good look at it. There are some really, really cool things, but there's a lot of stuff on here, so you've got to probably... This here looks like one of my friends. It really does, right? I hadn't seen him for a long time. It's a guy I knew when I was younger. He was a skateboarder. But now I'm his friend on Facebook, and I looked at him, I was like, Jesus, you look like... Well, I didn't say it to him, but he looks just like this. I thought, oh my God, what's happened to him? And I thought, I see my friends now that were like from college or uni or whatever, or art school, and they all look really old. It's like they look like they're from the generation above me. And I was thinking, is that what I look like to them? I don't think I do, but who knows? A tiny little violin. There's a lot of really cool stuff on here, but what I'm showing you now is not a very good example, but it's worth checking out. It really is. If you've never seen this website, I mean, who wouldn't want this pie? Look at it. How awesome is that? A pie made of someone's face. Yeah, look at, I mean, some of them are ridiculous, like this house. They have a lot of... Oh, this is it. This is what I'm buying for my dad. So my dad's... For Christmas, I'm getting my dad this mouse. Isn't it awesome? There's a few different options. They've got one that's like gold, and check it out. And like they've got them with different metals, but they're all sort of handcrafted. And he likes this sort of stuff. Last year, I bought him... it was I bought him an iPod, but I bought him like a Bluetooth radio for his iPod to play the music, like a speaker, one of those. But it was all made of wood, and it looked like a really old transistor radio. And when I gave it to him, it got like big wooden knobs on it and everything. It looked awesome. But he used to have a transistor radio in the 50s that looked almost identical to this one. So yeah, I was quite chuffed about it. So he likes this kind of stuff. He likes building things, and I'll just show you this picture. Then I'll get back to my comments. So look at how cool are these. I mean, that's my favourite one. So that's the one I'm going to get him. But yeah, this website, dudeiwantthat.com is the address. If you've never checked it out, check it out. I buy a lot of presents off here. It's really cool. There's just some really cool, very, very different ideas. So have a look through. It's good. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Just amuse yourselves for a moment. Look at that finger that you can attach to your phone. Oh my goodness. Look, little tiny planets. How cool are they? I used to be a juggler. I would have liked to have those in my days. I was a professional juggler. I used to do children's parties. And I was a fire breather, stilt walker, all that kind of stuff. My main profession is a hypnotherapist. That's what I mostly do. Where's my comments on comments gone? There we go. So yeah, a few people have said you have a relaxing voice. The reason I have a relaxing voice is because I am a hypnotist. I used to do stage hypnosis back in the 90s, in and around the Nuneaton area. So a couple of people have said they're from Nuneaton. If you're old enough to ever have seen stage hypnosis shows in Nuneaton around the mid-90s, that would have been me. So I did quite a few of those. So I've written quite a few books on hypnosis, and I do teach hypnosis. I used to do workshops and seminars and classes. I also write books on the law of attraction, and I do seminars on that kind of stuff as well. So that's more like what my other businesses are about. But I do have a YouTube channel where I just upload my hypnotic stuff, and people can just listen to it for free. So if you want to lose weight, or something like that, then pop over to my other YouTube thing and you can listen to my hypnosis stuff. You don't have to pay for it, it's all free. It's just me doing hypnosis basically. But that was my profession for a long time. I ran a hypnotherapy clinic in England for about 10 years. I don't do it anymore, but I do still make recordings because it's just more money. You make a recording and you do the work once and then you just sell it forever through a website where someone puts in their credit card details, and you don't have to deal with a customer or anything. You just get money going into your bank. Whereas when I actually ran a clinic, you get paid for your time. So someone comes to you, charge them a couple of £100 for a session, and you're done. That's it. You never see them again. So it makes much more sense to write books and produce audio. So I have a few books that are available on Amazon to do with hypnosis and law of attraction. I have a few things on Spotify to do with hypnosis and that kind of stuff. And I have a YouTube channel that is all about that kind of stuff too. I'll pop a link to my other channel in the description of this one, so if you want to check it out, you can do. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then you can have a look. I kind of want to keep all that separate from this. This is just my fun YouTube channel where I play games. So there we go. All right, let's crack on. We'll give you a thumbs up for doing 50 laps. So yeah, this guy here, GOOD66BOY, you might want to add this person on your Xbox, like follow them, and then look for their blueprints, because that's the person that did the up and down one. And from what I've read on comments, it seems that that one is a little bit of a cash cow, so you're going to be making a fair bit of money. I mean, it sounds like it's a bit boring, but if you don't mind that, you just want credits, jump on it. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Other people have answered this. Look at this big conversation that's going on. I'll just give you all a thumbs up. If you don't have a race, you won't be able to use a blueprint that's on that race. But if you're in a convoy with someone else, then you can. So, for instance, if you've not got the Goliath, but you go in a convoy with someone else that's got the Goliath, they can start the event, and then you would join them on that. So, I think what it's worth you doing if you don't have the Goliath unlocks when you get to a certain level. I think it's like 16 or something on road racing. So look for one of these blueprints that someone has made for road racing, like the one I've made, or like the up and down one. Make sure it's road racing, race it a few times, and you'll level up loads on that series, and then it will just unlock the Goliath for you. Now, I've unlocked I think I've unlocked all of them. So there's the Titan, the Goliath, the Colossus. What else is there? I think I've got them all. I've got the orange, the green, and the blue ones, so that's all of them. I think I'm almost max on all of them as well. Is that it? Oh, we're done. We are done. Right, let's just open it again and see if any people have commented whilst I've been making comments. Might have. I'll have a beer. That was it then. Just I'll have a beer. Oh, that was 10 hours ago. I don't know why it's jumped to the top. Maybe because some people gave it thumbs up. So there we go, guys. That was comments on comments for Blueprint Abuse. My intention was to go through them all, but I think we'd be here all day. So shall I just do comments on comments for this one and then make another one for this one? I'm going to have to, aren't I? I'm going to upload about a dozen comments on comments videos today. Oh my goodness. No, I'm just going to jump in. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to jump into the other ones and I'll just go through them really, really quickly. I don't want to make 10 comments on comments videos, but there's less comments. Look, that had a lot. This one has half the amount. And it's going to take less than half the time because they're all going to be the same. This is to do with a Hot Wheels car. Everyone's going to say, it's in the Forza Fun shop. You blind fool. So, Loudmouth. This is the person that told me where it was. I like this person. They leave lots of very useful comments, and I like that a lot of people have thumbs up this as well. So, as I say, if someone gives me an idea for a video, which Loudmouth did, a couple of my videos now have come from Loudmouth. So obviously I'll give you the credit for it. I don't know if you've got a thing. Have you got a thing? I think you have, but there's nothing on it, is there? Let's have a quick look. No, you haven't got any content. You got 1 subscriber though. I'll subscribe. Now you've got 2. There you go. Put some stuff up. Record some. I mean, you give me ideas for videos. I make them, and then people comment and like them. Do them yourself. Get some videos up, and then people will start following you. Yeah, this is the guy that also said that the skeleton costume glows in the dark, which sounds bloody awesome. So they've downloaded the same tune as me on that Bone Shaker. It's epic. It's really, really fast. I didn't get the googly eyes and the moustache or any of that stuff. I didn't realise we had malls in the UK. No, I'm not in the UK. I'm in Colombia. I've moved. I come from the UK, right in the middle, just near Coventry, small town called Nuneaton. And I now live in the capital of Colombia. So I live in Bogota in South America. And they have really good malls here. So I spend most of my day in the mall, on my computer, in like a Starbucks or something. There's a really good mall that's really close to where I live, which I kind of consider is my office because I spend so much time there. There's another mall called Santa Fe that's, I mean, I don't drive here, I cycle. Bogota is completely flat, so I mean it's right in the middle of the Andes. It's very high up, but it's a plateau, and it's flat, so it's very easy to cycle everywhere, and they have incredible cycle lanes everywhere, so it's really safe. So I cycle around. There's a mall that I go to quite often that is enormous. It's very easy to get lost. It's in the north of Bogota, and they have a Juan Valdez there, which is a coffee shop. I went there, this was last week, and I turned up as the coffee shop was opening in the morning, so really early. It would have been about this time, so probably about 8:30. And the girl that served me coffee, obviously she just started a shift, and I was writing at the time. I was working on a book, and I was getting quite into it. And I just bought a cappuccino and palito de queso, which is like a cheese stick. And then I noticed that girl finish her shift, and she walked past me to leave in her own clothes. I thought, that's the girl that served me. I thought, she's done a short shift. And I checked the time, and I'd been there for 8 hours, right? I'd still got half a cappuccino. I'd got so into writing that 8 hours had passed and I hadn't even noticed. So I'd eaten my snack, I'd drank half of my cappuccino, which obviously was very cold, and been sitting there working in their coffee shop for 8 hours. So yeah, as you can imagine, I do consider these places my office. But, I mean, that's my personality. I get sidetracked, I get distracted, I get zoned into something, and I just get carried away with it. So it happens all the time. I'm going to go and refill my coffee. I'll be 1 sec. Well, that failed. I tried to explain to my cleaner the reason I'm talking to myself upstairs. She didn't understand the word. My Spanish is so bad. But I thought I was very expertly saying in Spanish, I'm just recording a video to share on YouTube. And she didn't understand any of it. So, but I have fresh coffee. This person got it from the shop. Oh, we're talking about the Bone Shaker car, aren't we? V12 racing engine, 4-wheel drive. This is why it was expensive. Yep. But it is damned nice to drive. It was worth it. I thought the car was a seasonal event prize. Same as me. I thought it was, and I thought it was broken. Hey, Nathan Kotz has got a cat as an avatar thing. I'm a big, big cat person. I really am. So, and my wife wants a dog. She wants a really small dog, which I don't mind. When I was in England, I had a miniature dachshund, which was tiny, really, really tiny. His name is Colin. This was with an ex. Obviously, it was kind of like her dog, but because I worked from home, he thought that he was mine, so he bonded with me more than her. So we had this little tiny dog, and we also had 3 cats, and the cats used to tower over him. The dog could, when the cat was standing up normally, the dog could walk underneath the cat. That's how small he was. He was really, really tiny. So when you take him for a walk, it looks ridiculous. And sometimes the cats would come with us. So we've got this tiny, tiny little dog. I mean, he's a dachshund, like a sausage dog, so he's quite long. And then we've got 3 cats following us, and which is quite comical, taking a tiny dog for a walk on a lead. Yeah, he's such a little dude, he really was. And, well, still is. It's just I don't see him anymore, but he's still alive. He gets on with the cats unbelievably well, but he always tries, he's got really fat paws, because he's a dachshund, and dachshunds have fat paws, and he always tries to put his paw on top of the cat's head, but he can't reach, and it's so funny watching him. And he wants the cats to play, so, I mean, his back legs stay still, but his front end just keeps jumping from side to side, all really excited, because he's desperate for the cats to play with him. And the cats just sort of, like, roll their eyes and then walk away and flick their tail a bit. I mean, one of the cats just hugs him all the time, so they always sleep together, and they curl up into a little ball, and they're hugging each other. They're so cute. So yeah, that tangent was brought to you by the avatar of Nathan Cox. Just because of this picture, I get so distracted. Nice one, fellow, enjoying your videos. Thank you, Mr. JP. I know a few people with the initials JP. I wonder if you're one of them. It's awesome. Do you have to do each of the races 3 times? No, you just do the race on the required level and you'll get all the rewards. Yeah, I forgot to do this. Put in aero on the car so that it gives it more handling. I did say I don't like doing tunes on the car, but I do often do it. But if it's a Hot Wheels car, sure as hell I'm going to tune it. You know what I mean? That's a bloody toy. I'm going to tune it. Okay, this person knew it was in the Forza shop. How did you know? Where did it say? I didn't know. I went to do the race. I clicked the button. It said buy a car. I said yes. And then it went, here's a selection of no cars for you to purchase. It just looked broken. Where did you read this? I didn't know. Obviously, you're more observant than me. But let's be honest. I'm really not very observant, am I? Facebook, Insta, and Xbox Beta is where I seen it. Oh, well, there you go. I didn't look at any of those places. So I looked at the game. I know you didn't tell me there. I don't look at that. I don't even watch other people's YouTube videos. I just do my thing. Keep up the good work. Do you know if the twin mill is available on wheel spins? No, it's not. Well, it might be. I haven't seen it. I assume it's not. I've never seen one. It's not in the showroom. Hot Wheels isn't in the showroom. And I did check in the auction house for you, and it wasn't in there. The only way to obtain it is from the auction house if somebody sells them. I think that's true. I would sell you mine, but I'm a completionist, and if I have a gap in my collection, I will not be able to sleep at night. So there's no way that you can buy mine. I'm selling someone my Honda Civic, but it's from my GameHacks account, so I don't mind, because I don't mind if GameHacks isn't complete. But I can't, if I've only got one of something, I can't sell it. I imagine they'll all come back round. I mean, they keep giving us cars on these Forza events, but half the time I've already got them. They'll come back round. Don't worry about it. They're going to come back. Ah, yes, I saw that you'd messaged me. Who disliked? Probably a lot of people. There's the comment. This is what I had to say about this. If you want to read it, you can do. Obviously, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but a lot of people will dislike my style. I don't mind. You only see a small number of liveries by default. However, if you search, leaving the fields blank aside of the car make and model, you can browse all of them. It's just this. I didn't know this. That's very useful information. So yeah, I did know that it only shows you the popular ones, and I did know that you can search. So what I normally do is search for realistic and replica or something like that. And then obviously it shows me a lot more. And also sometimes I search for someone's gamer tag, but I didn't know you could do this. I should have done. So just search for the make and model and it will show you them all. That's pretty cool information, thank you. So there's actually nothing interesting to win in the seasonal event. Well, there's the skeleton suit, which glows in the dark, but if you don't want that, I mean, I haven't worn it yet. I think I'm the only person thinking that all of those suits horns should be removed from the wheel spins. Someone did say, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone did say that once you've got all of the stuff, like all of the clothes, all of the cars, you only get money on the wheel spins. I think they said that. They said something like that. So maybe that's a thing. I wish that once you'd got one of each of the clothes, it removed them from the wheel spins. And I can't stand that they've given legendary status to the crowns and the motorbike stuff. Such a shame. Always useful information and respect for telling who really needs to get the credit for what you post. Rightfully so. Damn right they should. Yeah, people should get the correct credit. I thought a lot of people knew this. Yeah, a lot of people did. I got a huge amount of messages about it. Description says you can buy it for 100. Oh yeah, I know it does. I think I updated that. Yeah, I saw that later. 12.27. Boy, what? I don't know what was at 12.27. I'm gonna have to have a look, can I? Do 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 do. 40. So let's get back to the Bone Shaker. Oh, it was me trying to pronounce the name of that thing. It's like, some of the car names are so ridiculous, right? As you know, many years ago when I first left school, I used to work at McDonald's, yeah? And you get people come in, they go, oh, I'll have Big Mac, please. I'll have a chicken sandwich. I'll have some nuggets. Normal stuff that's easy to ask for. I'll have a cheeseburger. I'll have a hamburger. And then we did this promotion that was... They had a cheese. It was a round the world promotion, and there was a cheeseburger called the Cheeseburger Italiano, right? And it's unbelievable how many people come in, and you could see them looking at it, and they were struggling with themselves inside their mind. And then sometimes they'd pluck up the courage to ask for it, but because it sounded a little bit flamboyant, they felt stupid. I mean, this happens a lot to English people. And we didn't sell many of them. And I really think we didn't sell many of them because people didn't know how to pronounce it, or they thought they'd sound a little bit silly, so they just weren't asking for them. So I saw it a lot as well. And the amount of people that went a bit red when they did say it, you know, those were the ones that had the courage to actually ask for the burger. But I think a company naming their product something that is difficult for people to pronounce is idiotic. Now, there is an Alfa Romeo. There's two Alfas, the Forza Edition ones. I don't know how you pronounce either of those. One of them looks like Quattro Formaggio, right? Which obviously isn't, because that's a 4-cheese, well, normally a 4-cheese pizza. I think whatever it is means four. Is there a Maserati that means 4-door or an Alfa? It's going to be an Alfa, isn't it? That means 4-door. It's like, why do they do this? I mean, it's like a calzone. I mean, I think Americans say calzone. I think people say calzone. I don't know, one way or the other. But a pizza that you fold in half. That's what that car sounded like. It's so stupid when they name things that are difficult. I instantly checked the Forza on slot. Well, Leonard Nappe? I don't know how you pronounce your name. Well done. Jesus H. Christ. I don't know why you're saying that. Some people buy it for 5 million, possibly moneymaker. I got scammed. Do they? Is that it? It wasn't many comments, was it? Oh, I'm glad I think a lot of them were the same. So I'm going to be able to breeze through these. This one is on the video, how to get the fast travel board on top of the church. The actual way that you get it. No fucking around. The actual way to get it. You got to buy the car from the Forza Von shop. Perfect. That's where the next video come from. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Forza Von shop, 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 Forza Von shop. I jumped to, oh, that's the logo from Procreate on the iPad. I love that. If anyone draws and you've got an iPad, preferably an iPad Pro because it's about the size of a piece of paper, There's an app called Procreate. It's fucking awesome. I draw a lot on there. I used to draw a lot, but you got to get all your stuff out. You got to get your paints out. You got to wait for them to dry. You got to prepare your canvas. It's a pain in the ass. But this app, Procreate, you can draw. I've got a iPad, the pencil thing, but I don't really use it. I just use my finger. You can zoom in so far that your finger's good enough. It's like your finger's like a fine liner once you've zoomed in. But what it actually records your drawing and gives you like a stop animation video of what you've drawn. But the effects that you can get on it with the smudging and everything, it's so nice. So I love doing that. I spend a lot of time on planes, and quite often I'm just on my iPad drawing on the plane. The other thing I have on my iPad, which I love, is a DJ app. And I have a load of old school happy hardcore tunes on my iPad, and I just have that on, my headphones on, and I just do a mix on the plane. It's just awesome. So yeah, your little icon there is the same as the Procreate logo, which is a really awesome app that if you haven't got it and you like drawing, you should certainly download. What's your comment? I jumped it without the ramp from the other side because there's a small hill. Jumped it in a Forza edition of Ventador, but took me a while. Well done. A few people said that, actually. This is all done. We are done. Done with you, but it wasn't a very good video, was it? Let's be honest. Trying. Desperately trying. Oh, shit. I forgot to hold down the command key. Let's go back and do that again. Where is it? Trying. This one here. Scroll across. That one. So this was me trying to jump on the church, ignoring people at my door that were doing trick or treat. In the Morgan. Dude, it's easy with a ramp. Right. Ramp, 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 ramp. Not one if you can... I don't want to repeat what's already been said, but there's a ramp. Ramp. This guy actually did it properly. My way. Not the easy way. Well done. Well done, Jason Blant. You're also funny. I had to stop what I was doing and had to and have a go at it. Yay, someone else that did it. The Toyota Baja trophy truck and four-wheel drive. So well done for Remy. I've seen a few of your comments. Remy 7077, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it's a similar name and I'm thinking of someone else. I think it's a capital R. So yeah, they did it the hard way. A lot of people just say yeet. What does yeet mean? Is this something young people say? That makes me feel old. Same as me. Took them 20 minutes. 20 minutes? That's pretty good going. Right, Forza shop. So you watched me even though you knew how to do it. I mean, you could have put me out of my misery, but no, you just watched. I tell you, every time I got close, it was... The wheel really nearly touched it. She could have just touched it with her hand. Someone having problems on the server. This is a very common problem. I think it's happening more in Europe than it is in America. But yeah, a lot of people are getting this situation. I do feel sorry for you guys. The bone shaker, we've already discussed that. That's not how you do it. Yep, it's true. Why not use the ramp? Well, it wasn't there. What an idiot. Oh dear. I was being a bit of an idiot, let's be honest. But I liked it. Blueprint abuse, 147 comments. I think most of them are going to be the same. And they're going to be similar to my other blueprint abuse. Which was this one? This was started by Bamburgh Castle. Oh, I like that circuit. I really like it a lot. You can use the map. Ah, right. I've mentioned this before. If you are in manual gears, you can't use the map. If you are in automatic gears, you can use the map. Which is, I hope they change that. It's just so silly. I didn't expect to hear a near-rape mugging story within a Forza exploit. Not even finished the video, but I hope the degenerates got decked. No, we didn't see them again. That wasn't the missing pieces. Also, it's okay to be nice, just don't talk to junkies and degenerate-looking individuals. Yeah, that is really my problem. I was talking to a guy the other day in Colombia. I cycled past him and he was picking up, it was a tramp. And I've got a few tramp friends now in Colombia. One guy, I saw him sitting under a subway bridge and he got a box of tiny kittens on his lap and he was picking the kittens out of the box, picking fleas off their bellies and then putting them to the side. It was like cleaning his kittens. So I sat and spoke to him for a while. Now, I mean, some tramps have respect for themselves and this was one of those kind of tramps. I mean, he'd obviously been homeless for a long, long time, but he was wearing a suit and he'd got really good posture. And he couldn't speak a word of English at all. And I mean, he kind of understood my Spanish, but I sat speaking for him for a while. And then he's always in the same place. And I pass that area quite often. So what I do now is when I go to the mall, I always buy some, he's got dogs as well. I always buy dog food, cat treats and stuff like that. And I go and give him for his animals and then give him some money for food and things. So I was thinking about buying him some like socks and underwear and just general things that a tramp might like. But that's one of my tramp friends. Another tramp that I cycled past a couple of weeks ago. He was picking up just really, really small docker ends of cigarettes and smoking them. So I cycled past him and then I went a bit further down the road and there was a little kiosk selling cigarettes. So I bought a packet of 20 cigarettes and a lighter. And by the time I'd finished buying it, he'd actually caught up with me. So I was like, oh, this is for you. And I called him over. I mean, he was a mess. He was obviously a bad drug addict and he was skinny as hell. His clothes were hanging off him. It was just dirty and he stunk and it was a mess. And I mean, I was expecting to have to speak broken Spanish to him. But when I spoke to him, he said, oh, are you English? And I was like, yeah. And he was so eloquent and he spoke perfect English. And I spoke to him for a while. And he used to run several businesses and he's got a PhD. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Obviously a drug addict on the streets in Colombia now. What has happened to your life? But yeah, he was incredibly successful. He got a PhD, ran a few businesses, and I don't know whether he just had an addictive personality and he got addicted to drugs and it all went bad or what, but now he's picking up other people's used cigarettes off the floor in Bogota in Colombia. So, I mean, I chatted to him for about half an hour, but yeah, I felt really sorry for him, to be honest. But, I mean, my wife really gets worried about me talking to people because there is a drug in Colombia called escopalina. They call it, its street name is Devil's Breath. Now, if you have a look on YouTube and search for Devil's Breath, there's quite a few documentaries on it, but I'll tell you a bit about what it does. Now, I did mention I'm a hypnotist. Devil's Breath is basically doing the same thing that a hypnotist does, right? Inside your mind, you have your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and between the two you've got something called the critical factor. And when someone hypnotizes you, the critical factor is shut down. But its normal job is to analyze suggestions you are given and to decide whether or not you're going to follow them. So I'll tell you something. Your critical factor either goes, yep, that's fine, and that suggestion goes into your subconscious. Or it says, no, that's nonsense, and it kicks that suggestion out. That's how the human mind works. Now, it decides on what it will or won't accept based on what's already inside. This is why if you have a fear, like a phobia or something like that, it doesn't matter how irrational it is, you believe that at a subconscious level. So you've got this fear inside your mind, and then someone says to you, well, spiders are not scary, what's wrong? They're not even dangerous. Well, in most countries. So that comes into your conscious mind. Your critical factor looks at that, compares it to what you've already accepted, which is, holy fuck, spiders are terrifying, and then it says, no, you're wrong, and it rejects that suggestion. When you're hypnotized, the critical factor can't critique. So when someone says to you, spiders are perfectly fine, you feel comfortable around them and all that kind of stuff, that just goes straight into your subconscious mind. That becomes your new programming. So that's how hypnosis works. Now, this drug in Colombia, I mean, it grows everywhere. It's like stingers in England. It's a beautiful flower. It's like a trumpet flower. They grow either yellow or red, and it's a big bush with hundreds of flowers on it, all pointing straight down. And it's got this fruit on it. Now, if you just eat the fruit, it makes you trip for a few days. And, I mean, you can get stuck in the trip as well, so it's quite dangerous. And the fruit lies around on the floor underneath the trees. You know, kids could pick it up and eat it. But once it's been processed, it's processed into something called escopalina, which is actually the drug that they use in when you buy medication for travel sickness. It's the same drug, but in small quantities and controlled. But when it's used for illegal purposes, it's kind of airborne. Someone can come up to you with a piece of paper and they can show it to you and ask you directions. And when you look at the piece of paper and breathe, you breathe it in. So what also happens in Colombia, which is quite common, is people put it inside magazines in the back of taxis. And when you get in a taxi, if you open the magazine, you just breathe it in. But you don't know. There's no way that you can tell that you have taken this drug. You know, it's just in the air. So it's very easy for someone to give it to you. You know, they've just got to hold something near your face. So a lot of prostitutes use it as well. They block up their nostrils and they pretend that it's coke. So they then pretend to snort it, and then they give it to someone, and that person snorts it and it puts them on the drug. So the effects of the drug is similar to hypnosis. It shuts down the critical factor. Well, I don't know exactly if that's how it works, but I'm assuming it does because it has the same results. What happens then is whatever the person tells you, you have to do it. And then a couple of days later, you kind of wake up a bit confused and you have no memory of what's happened. And the after effects, you tend to have a bad memory and have nightmares. Now, my wife has a really bad memory and she does have nightmares quite often, so maybe something happened to her. I don't know. But it does happen quite often here. I mean, a couple of people that... I mean, one guy, he woke up in his apartment, and his apartment was completely empty. He'd got no furniture, no nothing. He was like, what the fuck is going on? And he went down to the security, and he said, what happened in my apartment? And he goes, what are you talking about? He says, you came here last night with your brother, and you were moving, and I helped you carry the stuff out. And what the guy done, he drugged him, and he'd said to him, drugged him with this stuff, and he said, right, we're going to go to your apartment, you're going to tell the security that I'm your brother, you're going to tell him that we're moving out, and we're going to move all the stuff out your apartment, and he robbed him by doing that. So, and you willingly comply. So you just do whatever someone says. Now, years and years ago, when it was more tribal people in Colombia, you'd have the chief of the tribe would marry about 15 women, and then when the chief died, they would dig a grave for him and put him in it, and then they would drug the women with this drug, and they would say, lie down in the grave, and they would bury the women alive with the chief of the tribe. So that's one of the ways that it was used in the past, which is, I mean, if you are willing to lie down in your own grave and then be buried alive because someone has told you to, and then you do it happily, that shows you how powerful this stuff is. It's incredible. Now, I think that they should harness this power. What they should do is get doctors to get the correct dose. If you have too much of it, you die. And quite often people accidentally kill people by giving them some, telling them what to do. When they don't comply, they give them some more, and then they have too much, then they die. So that is a serious problem in this country, and it's quite a prevalent drug as well. And so obviously my wife doesn't like me talking to tramps, even if they have got a box of kittens. I mean, who can resist a box of kittens? I mean, they were so cute. It's like their ears were still folded over, and they were like, little tiny pointy tails like your little finger. They were just incredible. They're actually cats now, because this is, you know, probably over about a year that I've been going and talking to this guy and taking him cat food. But what I think that doctors should do, you should get someone who is a very, very good therapist who knows how to create suggestions, because most doctors don't know how to create suggestions. They do it completely wrong. But if you've got a good suggestion that would help a person, then you can give them a little tiny bit of this drug, and then a doctor can just sit there and read out these suggestions, right? Pretty awesome. And then the person's got to follow them like they've been to a really, really good hypnotist. I think it'd be incredible. Right, this is also one of the reasons why I'm not all that bothered that my Spanish ain't all that good. Because if I'm out and about on my bike and somebody drugs me and then starts telling me to do things, I'll be like, disculpa, no hablo mucho español, no comprendo. And I wouldn't be able to do anything. I've thought about making a track of suggestions and keeping it on my phone. And then if anyone ever drugs me, I'll just play it. And it will say stuff like, you can bike really fast. You are really efficient. You feel awesome when you're working on your business. You know what I mean? You enjoy eating healthy food. You love going to the gym. All that stuff. Take advantage of being drugged. But yeah, it's not good. So what can happen over here is someone gets drugged, and then they take you and they'll lock you somewhere. Like, you'll get kidnapped and you get locked in a little room. And then they'll say to you every day, go to your bank and withdraw the maximum amount that you can from all of your credit and debit cards, and then come back here and give me the money. So there's no risk to the person that's drugged you, and because they've given you an instruction and you're on this drug, you just do it. So you would just go to the bank, you would withdraw the money, you'd go back to your little prison, and then you would stay there till the next day. And then once they've exhausted all of that from you, they can then say to you, take these drugs, put them in your body, get on a plane, fly to Miami, meet this person, give them these drugs, and you would do it. It's right, you have to do whatever it is you're being told. You have no way of critiquing the suggestion and then, you know, not doing it. So if they said, take this knife, cut out your kidney, put it in this bucket of ice so I can sell it to somebody on the black market, you would do it. So yeah, it is a little bit of a risk. But if you want to find out more about this, just search on YouTube for Devil's Breath. And that is, I think, possibly one of Colombia's biggest problems. But I've been here for 3 years and I've never had any experience with it, but I do know a few people that have. 2 friends of my wife have both been drugged. It's 2 guys, they're both gay. They met other gay guys, communicated through the internet for a long time, went on loads of dates, finally thought that, hey, this is the person, everything's going well, I've got this new partner, etc., etc. Then invited them back to their apartment after they've been with them for several months, and then bang, drugged and robbed, everything taken. Now, how insane is that? That's like playing the long game, you know, pretending to be interested in someone and actually starting the relationship, going on dates, going out for meals, and then waiting until you go to their apartment and drugging them. It's a bit silly, really. They should have just drugged them on day one and said, take me to your apartment. So these criminals, they've got a very powerful drug, but they are a little bit stupid. But yeah, it happens here. But I mean, all places have negative things, don't they? I mean, there's bad stuff happens in England. But I've not had anything bad happen to me, touch wood, in Colombia yet. But I know there is the potential. But yeah, I mean, check it out. Check out that drug. Search for Devil's Breath. And there's plenty of documentaries on it on YouTube. It's really, really interesting. But think about the ways it could be used for positive, because it really, really could. But at the moment, it's just being used by criminals. Let's move on. What the hell did any of that have to do with this? Oh yeah, look, there's the word abuse. Oh, you can't see it, it's just off where I'm recording. So this video has the word abused in it, which is connected in a roundabout way to my story about Escopolina. What do you guys think? Should I fill in the juicy gaps? Oh yeah, this guy's name was Steve. So it's not the same Steve, but it did make me laugh that it said that. And then a lot of people seem quite concerned. What I did in my race, drive to the quarry, drive directly off the edge to the very bottom, and make the NPCs drive all the way back up again. I found that quite amusing, actually. So yeah, make people fall off. I thought about doing that, driving, you know, just doing a track that drives to the edge of something and then turns, and they would just all fall off. So yeah, that's a brilliant way of forcing driver tasks to do something stupid. I figured this exploit ages ago when doing my money-making race up and down the motorway. So Ben Clifford has a money-making race. You might want to add him and check out his race. Obviously, he's making money doing that. Wow, that story is wild. Which one was it? Oh, I think it was the driving to the beach. Yeah, it would have been, wouldn't it? Yes, definitely it was. By the way, I'm pretty sure you can make a custom race and classify it as dirt street or cross-country racing. Yes, you can. So you should be able to make a street race and put it in a different category to level up your other disciplines. Yeah, I was thinking this myself. I didn't thumbs that up. I hadn't read this one before. But I'm not level 20 on a couple of the categories. So I did think this yesterday. I've not done it, but I thought exactly the same thing. I thought, God, I can just make the up and down the motorway race, call it a dirt race track or whatever, and then I can max that out. So yeah, I had thought exactly the same thing. Really good point. Thank you, Loudmouth. I like them too. I thought it was just me noticing the cheating driver task. No, they're little bitches, aren't they? They teleport all over the place. I do want to change a little bit of that. Ah, you're from Leicester. So those guys were part of the baby squad, who you will no doubt know who that is. So that's who they are. So you probably actually know that car park in the very centre of Leicester off the A47. You know, it was right outside Crystal's nightclub. I've got mugged outside that nightclub a couple of times, and one time I had £400 in my pocket, and I got out of the car, right, I pulled up, and a bunch of lads stood next to my door. And I was like, oh, fucking hell. And there was 3 of us in the car. It weren't the same people as the previous time. And I thought, what am I going to do? So I just got out of the car, and I was like, what do you want? And he goes, give you money. I goes, I ain't got any money. And he goes, yes, you have. Give me your money. I goes, I haven't got any. And I said, I'm going in this nightclub here. I says, look, I had a voucher to get in the nightclub for free and get a free can of bud. Because I've got this voucher. It's going to get me in there for free. It's going to get me a free can of bud. And all I'm going to do is steal everyone else's can of bud. I wasn't, but that's what I told them. And they was like, give me your money. Because I ain't got any fucking money. Because do you think I would have got out of the car into a bunch of lads that are blatantly going to try and mug me if I had some money? And we started arguing. And I told you I am a hypnotist, so I'm quite good at calming situations. I'm good at gaining rapport and leading people in certain places. I'm also good at using subliminal messages to intimidate people without them realising I'm doing it, which is what I did. And after a while, I had got the upper hand. There's probably about 8 or 9 of them. And after a while, I'm not a fighter or anything. I did various martial arts, but I wouldn't ever use it in a conflict situation. I just did it when I was young, more for exercise than anything else. But I turned the situation round, so it was me intimidating them. And then they just all left. They got in the car and drove away. And they went, "Don't tell anybody you've seen this car." It was like they was going to cry, and they just drove off. So yeah, I've had a couple of risky situations in that car park. But I loved that. I used to go up there quite often, and to Crystal's nightclub, and it was a lot of fun. But there was a stage in my life where there was a nightclub that we went to every single day of the week. I mean, I was DJing for most of the days of the week anyway, but we used to go to a nightclub afterwards. But then the Pink Parrot in Coventry then opened something that was on a Sunday night, and the Sunday night was the only one we hadn't got. Tuesday was Buzz in Inkley, which was amazing. It was like an indie club, which was just, I loved it there. It was awesome. What night did we used to go to Crystal's? I can't remember. But we ended up with a nightclub every single night of the week, so it was epic. You get penalty for cutting corners. Made a highway race, same tracks, but one of them has roads going off the highway for the AI. It's longer track too, by the way. I don't remember how much credit difference, but there was enough to not do it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They measure the amount of time. I mean, I did that half-mile race, which was really 40 miles going up and down grass, and I got 2,000 credits. I mean, they're not really stupid, although we can abuse it. Right, I'm just going to thumbs these up. I'm not going to read them, but I think it's just people discussing what I've just said, basically. Nope, I'm not retarded. I created a track with... Right, let's thumbs up this person saying he's not a retard. Who called him a retard? It's not a penalty, guys. The game pays you for mileage. Yeah, that's what we've been saying. God, who called him... Right, if someone says he's a retard, I can't thumbs that up. So, no. Who is it who says I'm not a retard? Right, at mdefckr. So where's mdefckr? Here we go. Didn't really actually call you a retard, but if you found that offensive, I'm not going to thumbs him up, am I? That would be crazy. They also need to make it where you can play the track you made with friends. Didn't know that was a thing. This pissed me off. I make a great route to race and can't race together. I didn't know that. Yeah, they absolutely need to do this. Can't you just do a convoy and then jump in it? Yeah, hopefully they update that. Can't you access the map when creating the routes? We've done this. They'll be talking about it. Really enjoy listening to your story, but please work on your gear shifting. Yeah, you got a point. I mean, when I'm recording a video, I have the TV turned down, and I forget to change gear all the time because I don't hear the engine sound. When I'm playing and not recording a video, I have the TV really fucking loud, and I change gear based on the noise of the engine. That's the reason it happens. And also I get distracted. So, oh look, here we go. Someone's just saying exactly what I've just said. You're right. Thank you. First video I've seen from you, got to say that you're one of the most entertaining and interesting creators I've seen recently. Thank you! I wasn't even really paying attention to what you were doing making the track. I was just imagining we were in your racing car and you were telling the stories to the viewer. This is incredible immersion. It lets us feel right there with you. And it is a talent that I've long since forgotten existed in a website. Thank you, you've been a subscriber. There's never more, is there? Thanks, Gameboy3800. This is what I was saying. It's just my personality. I'm not going to edit. If I've got to run off to answer the door, that's going to happen. I like the feeling of you being here with me. I mean, as I said, I run various businesses and different things. I create a lot of video tutorials on hypnotic stuff and things. And very often I get comments from people saying, I felt like I was there in the room with you. I felt like you were just talking to me personally. That's what I like. And I know... I mean, I make money from this, from my YouTube adverts, and I know I could edit them, I could polish them, and I could do all the things that everybody else does in order to maximize my returns. I'm not going to do that, and it's probably going to take people a while to find me, but some people that like this kind of stuff will find my channel, and it'll be like a, you know, like a breath of fresh air for them, and that's the way I'll always be. So if this is the kind of thing that you like, great, we'll get along awesomely. And I like interacting with you guys as well, but I mean, these comments on comments videos, they get hardly any views, so they don't make any money at all, but I do them because it's the only way I can sort of interact with you guys, and I want to do that. I don't subscribe to people ever. Yeah, this comment I completely agree with, and so you have earned a second subscriber. Yay! Thank you so much, Ryan Dexter. So good to have you both on board. But yeah, I honestly expect that this channel will become quite popular because of all the stuff that people don't do in their own videos when they try to make it polished. I like not making it polished. Did you not call the police? No, we didn't call the police. We just tried to calm Craig down. we didn't call the police. We just tried to stop Craig from cutting out their eyeballs. Right? Thankfully, we didn't find them again. But yeah, no, we didn't. We didn't call the police. So, I mean, if we had called the police, they probably would have gone, what the hell's this guy? Actually, on the way back, I drove quite a lot of the way back. It's a long drive. So Steve wasn't going to drive it all. So I drove quite a few miles on the way back. But at the time, I hadn't passed my test. So I weren't allowed to drive. I wasn't doing it legally. And we did get pulled over by the police as we got back into Nuneaton. The people who know Nuneaton, we got pulled over by the Tech up Hinkley Road. And the reason we got pulled over, right, this was one of the things I wasn't going to tell you, right? You know who was in the car. There was me, Craig, Steve, Craig's girlfriend, Steve's girlfriend. That's who's in the car. Guess why we got pulled over? We got pulled over because Craig thought it would be a good idea to try and fuck his girlfriend in the passenger seat of the car whilst I was driving, and I don't have a drive. Well, I do now, but I didn't have a driving licence then. So the police passed us, saw what Craig was doing, and we got pulled over. Now, when they pulled us over, I got taken out of the car, and as soon as they pulled us over, I said to Steve, give me your driving licence. So Steve gave me his driving licence. I didn't have a chance to look at it, so they pulled me over, and I got out of the car, and they was like, what's your name? And I said my friend's name. And they said, what's your date of birth? I thought, oh, fuck, I haven't got a clue. Right? Thankfully, the year before, we'd done something for Steve's birthday, and I just happened to remember the date because it was on the same day as my grandmother's birthday. And in fact, Steve, if you ever watch these videos, you are the only person I buy birthday cards from, and I very rarely miss. I don't buy them from anyone else. But yeah, I always remember Steve's birthday. It's on the 6th of December, same as my grandma's birthday. And I always try and send him a card every year because he means a lot to me. I would say, I mean, we don't spend a lot of time together, but I still consider him my best friend. We've gone through a lot together, and that means a lot. Now, I have mentioned another guy called Steve, and I've said we've not really friends, but we used to work together. Both Steves did work at McDonald's, so you might confuse the two. One Steve is the guy with a 456 Porsche that's sky blue. That's the one that wasn't my friend, but I used to work with. Whereas this Steve, the DJ one, is the one that I would consider my best friend, and he's the one that, if there's an interesting story with a Steve, he's going to be the Steve. And my name is Steve as well, just to add more confusion to the matter. But anyway, I got sidetracked, as I so often do. Oh yeah, right. So I gave the police a licence, I'd said his name, and then I just happened to remember from the previous year we'd done something on his birthday, and at the time I thought, oh, this is my grandma's birthday, so I knew his date of birth, and I also knew that it was a couple of years younger than me, but I wasn't sure exactly how much younger than me that he was, but I guessed it was 2 years younger than me, so I got the year from that. Thankfully, I got it all right, so they believed that I was him, and they gave me my stuff back, and they told Craig off, and they said, why are you letting him do this while you're driving the car? And I was like, I'm not controlling him, so you're responsible. And, I mean, they weren't wearing a seatbelt either, so it was not only a little bit lewd, but it was also quite dangerous. But, yeah, thankfully, I managed to kind of guess my friend's date of birth, and I got away with pretending to be him in front of the police when they pulled me over. So there we go. A lot of other stuff did happen, but that was one of the things that I wasn't going to mention that did happen on that day. I wondered the same thing, and there's two reasons I can't think of that it was mentioned. One, the story isn't true, or two, one of the more missing details is because they were doing something illegal themselves and didn't want to get into trouble. There must have been a reason he started talking to those dodgy guys. I'm going to thumbs you up, but I'm not going to say anything at all. Yeah, it was true. We were 18, we were DJs. What do you think we were doing? But I'm not going to say on YouTube the things that we were doing, but what happens in the past stays in the past. Hey dude, big thanks for showing my track in your video. Ah, the new fine art. This is another person that's a regular subscriber and has left some awesome comments. For some reason I can't see any track by any of my friends. We'll figure it out now. I think the system's a bit fucked, to be honest. You are seriously lucky to have got out of that situation without being stabbed and your mate's girlfriend being sexually assaulted. I'm amazed we weren't stabbed. When the knives came out in the car park, I'm amazed that they didn't stab us in the car when we were fighting in the car. It's like there was the wheel wrench thing, you know, like a L shape that you changed the tyre with. That was on the back seat. And the guy got it and he was trying to hit us with it. Now, I mean, they had knives. So if they're going to try and hit us with that, there you go. I'm about the same age as you, and I was also into dance and rave music in the Midlands, but I come from Stafford. I've also been to many hairy situations over the years, but yours was worse than in broad daylight. Did you used to go to the custard factory? If you're from Stafford, you might have done. The custard factory in Birmingham, oh, was epic. I used to spend every New Year's Eve there, and I absolutely loved it. So if you're from the Midlands, you might have been to one of my gigs. I've DJ'd all around the Midlands. So I've DJ'd in Birmingham. I can't think of the names of the places. Mostly, though, Nuneaton, Atherstone, Hinckley, a little bit in Coventry. But, I mean, from about 1992, that's when I was 18, so it would have been from about 1992, for a good 10 years, maybe 15 years, in and around that kind of area. So who knows, you could have come to something that I DJ'd at. I had residencies in 007's, which was a nightclub in Nuneaton. I had a residency DJ there. I had a residency in Madison's. Various other places around the area. Bilberry's, which was a popular pub in Nuneaton, I had a residency there. That's the one that I did later, and I used to turn up on a skateboard. So I'd skateboard there with a backpack on with a load of CDs and a Denon, and I'd switched over from records, and I no longer needed Craig to carry my records, so there were less fights, which is nice. Did I thumbs you up? No, I didn't. Sorry. You can beat and bull driver tires, no problem, so long as you have certain cars and certain tunes. The odds of increase, yeah, a lot of people say this. Would really recommend staying clear of anything beyond S1. Yeah, you're dead right. I get in an S2 and it's so difficult. Look at my Goliath race. It's called New Faster Goliath by King Coin 420. Obviously smokes then. For those people that don't know what 420 is, the 20th of April was a date where a law was changed, which is very important to people that smoke cannabis. So I noticed the other day, I was in the New Balance shop, and there's a New Balance trainer called the 420. I used to smoke years ago, but I don't anymore, so I know this stuff. And I was just thinking, I wonder if people that smoke buy 420 trainers, just as kind of like a little nod to other people. I mean, you don't need to buy trainers. Everyone who smokes stinks of weed. So, I mean, that's not something I do now, but it's something I used to do many, many years ago. If you are willing to spend more time in a race, use the Peel 450 with stock engine fully upgraded. The class says at D100, but it's twice as fast as the AI because they end up in the stock P50s. There you go. I think that would take a while. So the P50, yeah, the Peel. I was thinking about the Isetta. The Peel, it's a good laugh, but it would take a long time to do a few. Now this is out, it's probably going to get patched. So I'll say what? What's the video? Oh, I do think they'll patch these blueprints. Happy Halloween. Looking forward to trying your route. I might even win for once against unbeatable artificial intelligence. I love the car you are using in the video. Is it the MC12? Yes, it is. I love that MC12. It's very nice. I've gave you one detail. My friend tried to fuck his girlfriend. I would never report anything to the police. I don't think we was actually buying drugs as opposed to just talking to people that look like, well, my kind of people. I just talk to any degenerate, I really do. I kind of invite myself into... One of the things that I used to do quite often is I'd go down to London, usually for something to do with business, but I wouldn't book a hotel. And then I'd just hang around in Leicester Square until I'd kind of make friends with people that are going to have an all-night party. Then I'd go to their all-night party and just get a train back in the morning. And I've done that a lot. I kind of crash my way into places very, very often. When I used to smoke, if I could smell weed from a hotel room, I'd just knock on the hotel room door and invite myself in. I mean, they don't want you to come in, but I am a hypnotist, so I'm quite persuasive. So you just talk to them for a couple of minutes and then you're in. And then, well, that's enough said about that. If we hit 5,000 likes, will you share it? If your comment there gets 1 million likes, I can't, well, you know the score. I made a race that's way easier than the Goliath. It's called Impossible to Lose, 4 laps rigged. I'm really glad that you actually spell lose wrong rather than putting loose, which is astonishing how many people think there are 2 O's in the word lose. That is the word loose, which is different. I'm a bit of a grammar Nazi. I really shouldn't be, as I am dyslexic, but it's astonishing how many people would have put loose there instead of lose. So that's by Freddy Krueger. Check his thing out. It's called Impossible to Lose. It's 4 laps for the Goliath. So check that out. You might like it. I make a bunch of turns in the middle of the road, so it's like zigzagging. Yeah, you can just exploit the hell out of them. I'm listening to the story and forgot about the race. Yeah, I was telling the story and forgot about the race. There's one drag strip on the motorway, but I don't know if it's possible to create a new race from there. I don't think you can create them from drag strips. I haven't tried. I'm pretty sure you can't though. I think it's only the road race, the cross country, or the off roads. I mean, they're the only ones you can choose when you create it, so I'm pretty sure that's the case. I don't know. The one thing I know about Leicester is the jester from Leicester. Katumi, do you have a livery? Is this pronounced livery or livery? I always say livery because I think of the word delivery. Katumi, do you have a livery or tune you've made so that we can follow you in game? Can't get the blueprint to show up. Just follow me on Xbox, I think. Can't you do that? I do. On one of my other videos, I showcase a couple of my tunes. I've got one that's not my tunes, my designs, my liveries. I've got one for the Mini Cooper S. I made it ages ago, and it's promoting an old website that I don't even have anymore. So yeah, you can check that out. I somehow won an online race whilst listening to this. Well done, Stan's Culture. Why go through Leicester? Get straight up the A14. No, the thing is, I used to go to university in Norwich. Well, I say university, I didn't go to the UEA. I went to the art school in Norwich, but they actually threw me out. I got thrown out of Norwich University. I'll tell you this story on another day. It's quite long, actually, and I'd have to leave out bits. But yeah, because I used to live in Norwich, and I've got a lot of good memories at Kings Lynn. The first place I ever DJ'd was Kings Lynn Speedway Stadium. And also, I kind of know Leicester. I know Peterborough quite well. So if you drive from Nuneaton, the A47 takes you all the way there. Also, my girlfriend in Nuneaton used to live on the A47, which is... I don't know what the road's called when it hits Nuneaton, but it was the A47 anyway. And my girlfriend, not at the same time, I didn't have one in Nuneaton and one in Norwich, but my girlfriend in Norwich, when I was in Norwich, who is now very famous, I'm not going to tell you who she is, because I knew her when she was only 17. I was 18, she was 17. But she's now famous and very, very, very successful. And it really surprises me, because for those people that smoke, you will know what a roach is. Right, this is the person that taught me what a roach is, and now this person is a famous person with a very clean, image, and she's very, very successful. But yeah, it really makes me laugh every time I see her on TV or anything, because I think, oh my God, you showed me what a roach was. But yeah, I'm not going to share who that is, and don't ask me, because that's just not going to happen. But she was my girlfriend, and she lived in Norwich on the A47 on Dereham Road, I think it was, or Dereham Highway or something. So I kind of like the A47. It's one of my favourite roads, and you actually drive it all the way to Yarmouth Centre, so you don't have to think. It's quite a nice road anyway. It's not like a boring, monotonous motorway. That's always the way that I used to drive, because there's a few stops on the way that I've got good memories at, so that's the reason anyway. But you're right, you're dead right. You should really be doing what you said here. But they go, oh, in your old Metro, that was my first car. I've got some seriously good stories about that Metro. I used to drive to Yarmouth for silly things too. Not just for a box of matches. They sell those in Nuneaton. But yeah, a lot of really, really good memories of various stops along that journey. So Leicester, Peterborough, Kings Lynn, Norwich and Yarmouth all have very good memories for me. So that's the reason I did that route. I made a blueprint for a dirt track yesterday that starts at Mortimer Gardens called Dirty Circuit, where I made the driver tires take a steep bank just before a sharp left turn. I love it when you do this. They just go flying up in the air. It's so funny. But yeah, they do that respawning thing. I say Richard Goodwin. I know someone called Richard Goodwin. I don't think it's you though. We do need to tweak these races so the driver tires fuck up, do funny stuff that amuses us while we drive, but they don't teleport because it's just wrong. Can we use this to get the green outfit skin? I don't get how to get this. No idea. I don't know. I'm not going to thumbs you up or down because I've got no idea. Someone else can reply to that and tell you. Max Gannon. I know someone called Gannon too. I know a few Gannons. Very good. On my track, I put the teletransport looks. I have no idea what that means. So I just don't have to go that detour. Just cut it straight. Nice. I think I'll use it. Thanks. But make your own. Base it on that idea. Make your own. Yeah, but yeah, you don't have to do the detour. That's the idea. You send the driver's files off somewhere else and you just skip that bit out and you're guaranteed win. Pointless. Just go to the bottom and do the highway race. So this guy's talking about that up and down race. I've said this before, it's at the bottom of the highway. If you want to just make money really easily and you don't mind driving up and down, do that. I've told you the person's name, so just follow him. Or just go down there and look at the popular ones. It will be popular. People are doing it. Apparently you can view the map. Yes, you can, but only if you're in manual gears. Which now I'm using automatic. I'm finding manual gears very, very hard. On PC, you press M. More stories, please. There you go. You've got to sit through all of this now, which is going to be really long. You should do more story type material. Well, Jordan and sickly friend, here you go. This video will contain many stories. Couldn't you make it as long as possible for the driver tars? No, you can't. I've done this. It doesn't work. They check how long you are driving. Oh, come on. We need the rest of the story. I've given you a bit. Craig tried to fuck his girlfriend in front of the police while I was illegally driving Steve's car. And various other things we won't go into. Animate your stories or do the... What's that? The Michinima? I don't know what that is. Sort of thing in GTA or something. I don't play GTA. Oh, I have, for doing the... I bought Red Dead Redemption. I bought it on pre-order, and because it's by Rockstar, they've given me a code to get some money in GTA Online. I don't use GTA I don't play GTA. I don't play GTA Online. I used to play the old ones, San Andreas and Vice City and them. I haven't played it since, I don't know. I stopped a while ago anyway. But I have a code for some money. So if anybody wants that code for some money, I can send it to you. So the first person that replies to this video saying they want the code, they can have it. And I will add them on the Xbox and I'll send it to your thing and then you can use it. I'm not going to use it, so it's a bit pointless just sitting there. So whoever actually responds first asking for it, it's yours. I don't know why I'm thumbsing you up. I don't know what that means. Just tried to find this in game but can't. Have you deleted it? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. Yeah, someone else that abuses the system. It's so easy to abuse, isn't it? Someone doing it from a different place. This is for a circuit race. Start at the bottom of the freeway. Okay, you might want to read this. It's someone giving you information on where you would want to make a race, checkpoints you want to do, and that kind of stuff. So read this in your own time. Pause the video if you want to read it now, and obviously follow that if it's something you want to try. Loved your story, but such a teaser. I wish I could know the details. I'll try your race for fun. Okay, do so. I like your little avatar thing. Holy shit, is this recent? Maybe you've mentioned it. God damn, never give strangers, especially dodgy people, a lift in your car, friend's car. See, Steve was our driver, but I'm the guy that always goes and talks to people and goes, yeah, come on, get in the car, we'll give you a lift, no problem. And they was going, it's just down here, it's just down here. And I was like, this is a really dodgy estate. So I'm not comfortable with where we are right now. And yeah, it was not good. But no, it was a really long time ago. So I imagine... It was probably about 1994, something like that. Oh, it was a while back. Yeah, it was a while back. Oh my God, I've got cold coffee. Oh, good point. Streamer setting on. I always forget to turn it on, so probably not. I have noticed sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so that could be right. You're on about when she's dancing around the car. So it's safe to say that back in the day, and yet today still, you were not a good judge of character and maybe learned a good lesson about talking to strangers. Actually, that said, I am an exceptional judge of character, but I am very bad at stopping myself from approaching people that I have judged as being bad characters, okay? It's like when I was young, I used to be able to see auras very, very clearly. I could see colours around people, I could see their chakras and all that kind of stuff. And when you can see that kind of stuff, you are an incredibly good judge of character because it's just there. If a person lies to you, the colours change colour, and it's very obvious they lied to you. So I used to be able to see that up until I was about 8 years old, really, really clearly, but I didn't know what it was. And I'd watched a film called The Body Snatchers, and they kind of glowed a bit when the alien was in the body. So I thought that the people that I could see with all coloured lights around them were people that were aliens inside human bodies. I was convinced of this when I was little. Now, if you know anything at all about seeing auras, it's very easy to see auras in low light. For instance, like when you're in your bed and your bedroom light is off, but your landing light is on, and your mum and your dad come to tuck you in at night. That's ideal situation for seeing auras. So when my mum and dad did that when I was little, I could see their third eye chakra as a big glowing light on their forehead. So they're tucking me in saying good night, and I'm thinking, holy shit, that's not my mum. That's an alien inside my mum's body because she's got that light. So I was wondering why the aliens came into my mum's body every night, right? So I could see that sort of stuff when I was little. Something happened to me when I was 8. I had an experience with some men in black, which was incredibly frightening. I was doing something quite advanced spiritually to do with, it was to do with portals, it was to do, I'm not going to go into all this sort of stuff, but it attracted the attention of the beings that we call men in black, and they did something to me which changed me. It put a lot of fear into me. And I mean, even thinking about the experience now, you might have noticed my voice has changed a little bit, but I can feel it in my chest. There's fear in my chest which they put there when this thing happened. And they did that when I was probably about 8 years old. And that stopped me from being able to see auras. It stopped me from being able to do quite a lot of things that I used to be able to do as a child. But I can still sense this. So if I'm talking to someone, it doesn't matter. I absolutely 100% know if a person is lying to me or trying to manipulate me in some way. But I also give everybody a second chance. I'll look at a person, I can look at them and I know they're a bad person, but I want to kind of make them a good person, you know? It's like a good person gets love of everybody. Everybody loves good people, right? But people that are bad are usually bad because they've gone through some sort of bad experience and they're just playing up. And that bad that they've absorbed into their body is coming out towards other people. So I kind of want to fix that. This is why I've been a therapist for a long time. It's like if I see someone who's a bad person, I want to help them. And I can help them. I mean, there's one of the things that I used to do. As you probably know now from this video, as opposed to any of my previous ones, I do a lot of work with energy. I do a lot of... I do energy manipulation. I used to volunteer at a church to do, I'm not religious in any way, but that's just where people used to go. So I used to do a lot of hands-on healing, that kind of stuff. I do a lot of energy work. And, oh my God, I've just thought of something that is so funny. I will have to share this with you just because it's funny, but it's a bit rude. So if you're young and you have parents that can hear this, you might want to put headphones on. But I'll tell you something else first. One of the things that I used to do in the mall in Nuneaton, I say mall, it's tiny. It's called the Rope Walk Shopping Centre, and there's an escalator. And at the bottom of the escalator, there's a seat where I used to sit quite a lot, and I used to wait for my ex-girlfriend to go into H&M, go shopping, and I'd sit there. So I can manipulate energy. So I used to make this big... A lot of people are going to think this is bullshit, but it's not, and I don't care if you don't understand it or know about it. I know about it, understand it, use it a lot. I can see it, I can sense it, I know it's real. It makes no difference to me at all if you think this is nonsense. I know it's real, and that's all that matters to me. So I used to create this ball of energy at the bottom of the escalator. And a friend of mine that can do this too, he used to do it as well. And every time we went to the mall, we put more and more energy into this ball. And it stays there. And we kind of like just fill it up whenever we go there. And the ball of energy is designed to make people happy. That's why I created it. And then I'll sit and I'll watch people. And when people walk through it, like a couple could be walking through it, and as they walk through it, they'll do something happy. Like one will tell a joke, or they'll smile, or they'll nudge each other or something. And the ball creates happiness. That's the idea behind it. I mean, there's a huge amount of research been done into meditation for reducing crimes and that kind of thing. And there is significant proof that this stuff works, but it's just a little bit beyond what we've accepted from, you know, in mainstream. But I absolutely assure you this stuff works. So anyway, now the slightly ruder, funnier story about using orbs of energy. I was on a plane with I told this story to Steve's current girlfriend, and she said it was out of order. She said, you manipulated that girl, you made her do things she weren't going to do, and she went really mad at me, right? But it's not that bad. I was on a plane with my friend Stuart. We were going on holiday to Turkey. And I was talking about these balls of energy. The way I often use them is I'll make a ball that is like a little ball of energy. I'll make it kind of like in my heart, and I put in happiness and tickling and all really, really fun stuff. And then if there's a baby crying somewhere, I hate the sound of babies crying. I float this little ball into the baby and it stops the baby crying. So that's how I use them most often. And I also do it when dogs are barking. I'll put like tickling a dog's belly and, you know, stroking it and giving it a treat. I'd put that in, the energy of that I put into a little ball, and then I float it into a dog if it's barking. So I do that here a lot because there's a lot of dogs in Colombia. So that's the way I use these things most often. If I'm in a supermarket, there's a baby crying, I do it a lot, so it's very easy to do. I float a ball into the baby that's crying somewhere in the supermarket and it stops. So anyway, I was explaining this to my friend Stuart. Stuart is an incredibly gifted psychic, but he does no energy work like this. He can just read people's minds and that kind of stuff. So I'm explaining to him about how to stop babies crying by creating energy balls. And while I'm talking to him about it, I was like, I'll give you a demonstration. But there wasn't a baby crying on the plane. So I said you can kind of put anything you want into these balls. You can put any emotion into it. And I told him about something I'd done in the past with an ex-girlfriend where I'd put some kind of sexual emotions into one of these balls and then put it into her body through a certain orifice, right? You can imagine the consequences. And then she'd had a lot of fun without me touching her. So yeah, that happened. So because that happened in the past, I thought, well, I could do that now as a demonstration to Stuart. Sat in front of us was a couple, a guy and a girl. The girl was sat in front of me, the guy was sat in front of Stuart. And the girl was on her phone, and the guy was reading a magazine. Okay? So I said to Stuart, very quietly, I'm going to make an orb of sexual energy, and I'm going to put it into the girl, and we'll see what effect it has. So I said to him, look, you do it as well, because it'll make it more powerful. So we was both working on it. So we imagined this little orb in front of us, about the size of a watermelon, and we put a huge amount of sexual energy into this thing. And then we squeezed it down really small, probably about a golf ball or smaller. And then I floated it underneath her chair, and then I made it float up through her chair into her body. And that ball of energy contained an unbelievable amount of sexual energy, excitement, you know, all that kind of stuff. Then she immediately, like the moment I put it into her body, she immediately turned her phone off, she put it into the pocket in front of her, and she started to try and kiss who I'm assuming is her boyfriend. I mean, if they were complete strangers, then this is a bit out of order. But no, they weren't. They were a couple. She started trying to kiss him, right? And he just weren't interested. And he wanted to carry on reading his magazine, so he weren't interested. So she went back to her seat, and then she tried again. She tried a couple of times, and he just kept kind of shoving her off, sort of thing. Then she got her coat, and she put it on his lap, and she lay down with her head on the coat, on his lap. Then she lifted the coat up, and she put her head underneath the coat on his lap, and then her head started bobbing up and down. So I don't think I really need to explain in any more detail than that what was happening on the plane in front of us. But yeah, that is the power of putting orbs of energy into other people. So when I told Steve's girlfriend this, it was only a couple of months ago I told her. I mean, this actual event happened, let me think, probably about 5 years ago, I think, maybe. I went to Turkey with Stuart. So that's when it happened anyway. But I don't normally use them for that. What I normally use them for is to stop babies crying, stop dogs barking, and to make people happy. That's, I mean, not really orgasmically happy, but that's how I normally do this. But in this situation, to give a demonstration to Stuart, this is what I decided to do. Yeah, when I told Steve's girlfriend, she's a very spiritual person. She's quite hippie. She was really angry about the way, in her words, I'd manipulated this girl to do something that wasn't within her will. I don't think that's the case at all. I just put a ball of energy into her, and then she did something she wanted to do with her partner. But I've got to say, I'd never done it like that, apart from on the ex-girlfriend I told you about. But I wasn't expecting such miraculous results. It was just incredible. It was like, what a transformation. And the moment we put the ball into it, that's what happened as well. Just absolutely unbelievable. So I hope that you guys don't start abusing this system. But yeah, there you go. That's available for those people that have those kind of gifts. I mean, I do a lot of Tai Chi and Qigong, and that helps you to develop the energies that you need to do these kind of things. There's a meditation called the Macabre meditation. You go on a course called the Flower of Life to do it. I've done that meditation, had unbelievable experiences whilst doing that, and it enables you to become aware of other dimensions in a way that they become more real to you than what this is. So yeah, it's a really interesting area, but it's not something that I really wanted to get into on this YouTube account. I do talk about this stuff on other YouTube accounts, so I kind of wanted to keep them separate, so I don't know why I've gone onto this tangent, but there you go. Because of you. That was your fault, Alan Young. I like how I already did this on my own way, to be honest. That's a bit of a weird statement, but okay. How many credits? I don't know, I didn't look. Yeah, just to do with gears. Hey, it's Nathan Cox again with the little cat. Well, we didn't actually buy anything, we just got mugged. There was no buying happened at all. And, you know, at the time, that is something that we might have done, but I genuinely don't, I can't really remember, but I genuinely don't think that's what we was doing. I think it was more of a case of we probably had weed and we were, you know, sharing it with them. And I mean, it's more probably something like that than us looking to buy something. I don't think we needed to go to strangers, but I'm going no more into this. We're not looking for, you know, just a bunch of rough people in the street. You need to, I mean, people that do drugs have people they buy them from, yeah? You don't just go wandering around in the street and look for someone who's a degenerate. You have a person you go to, but this, I can't remember what we were doing. But the things I missed out from the story are not this. It's other things, but I've told you one of them, which is what Craig was getting up to. But there are other things that happened, but I'm not going to go into it. You don't need to know. How do you follow players on Xbox? I want to make money on this route. Make a blueprint that goes up and down. Go to that thing. Oh, no, sorry. This is the person who's got one. So, yeah, search for this person's. God, blimey, that would take you ages to type in. When someone says, just add me, and then they've got a YouTube name that's really, really long, it's really annoying. Thank you, Nate. I hope there's not many more comments on this one. This was a long one, wasn't it? I've answered that one already, so I'm not even going to read it. First, Miller. This is one odd story, but why the A47? I've answered exactly this already. Oh, that just really makes me laugh. I wonder who you are. So, Sweaty Tramp 69. Anybody in the Neaton could be called Sweaty Tramp 69. Oh, were you born in 1969? My sister was, so you might know her. Her name's Jackie. I wonder if I know you. Or whether you've, I mean, how old are you? Will you have been to one of my hypnotic shows in the Neaton back in the 90s? Did you ever go to 007's, Money Pennies or Maddies or any of those clubs where I used to DJ? Who knows? We might know each other. I'm thinking, why don't you have a girlfriend? What? Oh, why didn't I? That's actually, this question is, I'm not even going to say it. Yeah, there's something happened, which is really out of order, really. But something happened between me and Craig's girlfriend on that trip. I'm not going to go there. It was out of order. Something happened. Shouldn't have done. Probably a bit too, you know, well, we're not going there. Should have missed that out. Need to edit this. Craig, don't watch this video. Oh dear. I don't know. I just didn't at the time. Or I probably did. I very rarely... I am the kind of person that has had a lot of relationships and very little amount of time being single. Sometimes I want to be single for some time and then I just fall into a relationship. It just happens, probably because I speak to everybody. But I just imagined that my girlfriend probably wasn't available to go. I mean, it was a last minute thing. She might have been working. I can't remember. We finished our shift at 4 o'clock. We said, let's go to the seaside. We went there. We came back the next day and then was working again. So it was just kind of one of those last minute things. So maybe my girlfriend was working. I can't remember. Maybe I didn't have one. No, I couldn't have had one because if I did have one, what happened between me and Craig's girlfriend definitely wouldn't have happened because I wouldn't have done that. So I must have been single at the time. So that's too much information. I hope Craig never watches this video. Dear me. And even worse, that happened before we got pulled over by the police. That happened on the way back. Craig's girlfriend says, I need to go to the toilet. Does anyone want to join me at the service station? And I went, yeah, I'll come with you. And then something that shouldn't have happened did. So there we go. I'm so shit at keeping secrets, right? What's the point of saying to people something happened that I'm not going to tell you about? I should just say nothing. I should just leave out the pieces I don't want you to know and not mention them, because then you ask me and then I try not to tell you and then I tell you things I didn't want to tell you. But that's it. I'm saying nothing more about this series of events, apart from there were a couple of other juicy things that happened. I'm saying nothing. Right, done. When I want to create a highway race and troll the AI, making them go on another route, I want to do more than one lap. Yeah, I agree with you completely. Oh, right, you're getting glitches as well. This is happening to everybody. There's some glitches. We need to do some testing. I'm not going to read through all this, but hopefully someone's giving you some suggestions. Oh, I've said it, you get a lot of problems when you go over a track. Right, that's it for that video. But yeah, I mean, a lot of mine have been glitching. I'm going to test it. I think you've got to be really strict on the side of the road that you're on and try not to cut too much and try not to go over the old track too much. I mean, you can still force the driver task to do silly things, but there we go. So that was blueprint abuse. I'm not going to do the Resident Evil, Red Dead Redemption things. An even cheaper wheel spin. Oh my god, this has got 104. Right, 5 minutes on this one and we're done. Right, who believes that? Is that going to happen? I doubt it. Let's have a look. I'm going to try and do them really, really, really quickly now. Oh yeah, I said Nissan Datsun. Okay, done. Anyone who mentions Nissan or Datsun, we're scrolling past it. I didn't know, now I do. Thank you for educating me. Formula Drift cars. Loads of people have said this throughout all of my videos. Ah, this person's got almost all of the cars. Get the 10mm ones from auction. Good point, actually. I always buy them from the showroom. But now I've got them on my other account. I mean, I don't care if somebody's all out of all the perks out of them. If the car costs 10 million, I can get cheap on auction. I'm going to do that. Great videos. Don't give up on the USD condenser mic. I've checked out this mic that you said, the Blue Snowball one. There's not many places in Colombia where I can actually get it. What I'm doing now is still using my headphones from my my old phone. And that seems to be working quite well. But yeah, I do think I'm going to buy that Blue Snowball. I've supported a couple of Kickstarter projects for some really awesome headphones called Cocoon headphones. Oh, I've got the page open. I'll show you them. Check these out. They're awesome. So yeah, this was a Kickstarter project that I supported about 4 years ago, maybe. And they've only just finished making it. And it's these awesome headphones. They've got like a brainwave thing in them, and they're noise cancelling. And I fly a lot, so I've really bought them for flying. But these are being delivered to England, so I need to pop over to England to collect them. So I think also I might pick up one of them Snowball mics while I'm there. So I'm going to pop over to England, get a load of technology, and then come back. Thanks, Julian. I really appreciate that. Forget the double your money back, because this is the guy I was talking about. It's like, right, it's edited it. Before people ruined the auction house for the event on FE, you get out of the Lambo, you could spend 50 points. I can't bother to read this. Right, this person said this. Look at this. It says you're making nothing like 300 profit, but you're not. You've lost 150 and you've got 100, and you've paid 20 points, and you get 150 and you get a wheel spin. Right, yeah, but then you use that 150 to buy another car, and then you've got 300 profit immediately. Your second car is bought with the profit from the first car, then you've got 300 profit, and then you use that to buy 2 cars, which has cost you nothing, and then those 2 cars give you 600. Do you not see how this works? You're only spending your money on the first one. You're 150 down, and then you get your 150 back, and then you're 150 up. You buy another car, that's got 300 in it. You're instantly 300 up. You spent your 150 buying the car, but it's got 300 in. You've got 300. With that, you can buy 2 cars. You're now at 0 again. Those 2 cars have got 300 in each. You're now at 600. Profit. I don't get why you didn't get that. And, I mean, these points are so easy to get, it's ridiculous. So, and what? Who thumbs it up as well? It's like, I hate saying negative things about people. But, I mean, you need to look at this and realise the maths. You're only down 150 when you buy the first car. From that point onwards, you are in profit. It just doubles your money every time. Anyway, if you want to read the rest of this, then feel free to do so. He's also moaning about the... Well, I don't know if he's moaning or not. I just get the feeling that he is. If I find a way that you can make money with a car, I'm going to tell people about it. If they then patch it or it ruins it, I don't care. I don't really like the idea of one person finding a way to doing something and then doing it in secret to benefit them and none of the rest of the community. If you find a way of doing something and you want to exploit it yourself for a while, by all means go ahead. If I find a way of exploiting something, I'm going to tell everybody as quick as possible. And I hope everybody benefits from it, even just a little bit before it gets ruined. And then we'll find something else. Let's share. The Datsun and the Nitsun are made by the same people. I love you, man. Keep up the good work and thanks for the info. Thank you very much, Hampus Anderson. So you spend 150 to make 300 equals 150 profit, which you then spend on another Porsche or Nissan. Where's your money? Okay, what I just said. What? How can you not understand? Yeah. There we go. Yay, thank you. The Academy of Basic Math. Right, I bet the Academy of Basic Math has probably got a YouTube channel which teaches you things like this. How to spend money and make profit, and then use your profit to buy more cars to make more profit whilst not spending any more of your original capital. You're only ever going to be down 150, and after the first car you've got it back. Then you're just using your, I was going to say your oh, I've forgotten what it's called. When you play poker, I play a lot of Texas Hold'em poker. God, what's it called? You bankroll. You bankroll. You're using your bankroll. No more buy-ins. Just use your profits. Profits to make more profits. More in real life story car stories. Yep, there will be. I can't help it. There's so many, and I'll probably start saying the other ones again. I've never been to this person, Daejo Won Song's videos, but a lot of people mention him, and also on my channel I've noticed that when I go to my channel it recommends him, so I'm gonna have to check him out, because obviously this is, I don't know, possibly the leading YouTuber to do with this game. I don't know, but I need to check him out. Also, I've also noticed his name a lot in the tunings, so he's always got tunes up there, and a lot of people have said he's got a lot of money, etc. So I don't like watching other people's videos, but I might check him out. I won't. I think the focus method is better. Yeah, the focus is pretty good. You 4 skill points and you got spin, if that's what you're talking about. I can't bother to read it because this is getting a bit long now. So all of this is replies. Oh, is it? So all this replies. Jesus. God blimey. This guy gets more replies than me. You're going to have to make a comments on comments video. Thank you, Billy Bob. Cheapest way to get the Ferrari 812. I have no idea. I don't know which one that is. I'm not a car person. I haven't got a clue. The cheapest way is just to get a normal Ferrari and just scratch the name off and then get some Tipex, right, 812 on the back. So I assume this is quite a good car. I might have to check it out. The Porsche 3568 Speeder for 30k on the auction house. 25, and then for 24 you can get 2 wheel spins and 200k. By Alex Jones? The real Alex Jones? Can't be the real Alex Jones. With your demonetized account. I didn't press the button. Holy fuck, if Alex Jones is watching my videos, that's pretty awesome. 4 subscribers. So it's someone using Alex Jones's face. Blatantly not Alex Jones. Oh, look at this. It's got a video on Red Dead Redemption. And various other things. Didn't think it'd be the real Alex Jones, but there you go. But anyway, hello Alex Jones. And hello, the real Alex Jones. And I'd love to know if the real Ainsley is the real Ainsley. I don't think so. But wouldn't that be awesome if Ainsley Harriott was actually a subscriber of mine? One of my childhood idols? With Percy Pepper and Susie Salt? Oh God, I hope it's really you. I don't think it is. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. I'm going to thumbs you up for being someone who is promoting Alex Jones. Although Alex Jones gets so angry, doesn't he? Really, really angry. I think he needs to calm down and people will take him more seriously. How can you move forward when your gearbox fell out? I didn't move forward. My car hit the floor and then it just sort of like jolted. So, and it did happen. I knew when I said that story, a load of people would go, oh, it's bullshit, it's bullshit. But no, it absolutely happened. So I don't care if you think I'm lying. I'm going to thumbs you down. Because obviously a gearbox can't fall out. So I assume Steve had took the bolts out for doing some work. I don't know. But it absolutely just fell onto the road. And then there was some fluid. I don't know whether it was oil or, you know, gearbox, whatever. It was some fluid went all over the road. And then I couldn't do anything then. The car just made noises when I tried to move. But it fell onto, the thing hit the road first, and you heard it, and the car went forward and it just made a horrible noise. But I don't know how, right? I'm not an expert on cars, but big piece of the engine, which I'm 100% certain was the gearbox, did hit the floor. I couldn't give a fuck if you don't believe me, Mike, but it's true and it did happen. So, fuck off. But yeah, incidentally, by the way, guys, I will never, ever tell you a fake story or embellish a story to make it sound more interesting or lies. Now, right, I've just got to say something about this subject. Most of my stories involved my friend Steve. And we used to get up to really crazy shit that I cannot share with you. But Steve worked, he got a job somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but he used to go into work and he used to tell people stuff that he'd done at the weekend. And he didn't know why, but he was very unpopular at that place. And, you know, they excluded him from things, they left him out of stuff, and they were just generally quite nasty to him, okay? Now, years and years later, I had a friend, I'm not going to say her name because I think what she did was a bit mean, but I had a friend and I was telling her something that once happened to me. And she said, do you know a guy called Steve? And then said his full name. And I was like, yeah, he was there. That's the guy I'm talking about. And she went, oh my God. And I was like, what? She goes, I used to work with him. And she said, he told us that exact story at work and we all thought it was bullshit. And it's like, and she said, we used to be really mean to him because we thought he was full of shit. She says, every Monday he'd come in, he'd say what had happened at the weekend. And then at break time, we was like, oh my God, I hate Steve. He's so full of shit. But he wasn't. He was genuinely telling the truth. And she felt really, really bad about it because she was so mean to him for a lot of, all the time. He actually left there because he didn't like the way that people treated him. But that's what caused it. What caused it is he was telling people what happened, and then none of them believed him. And I think it was simply because, I mean, we had interesting lives. We were doing interesting shit, and it was exciting. And we got up to stuff that you really shouldn't do. And then when we told other people about it and they were just normal people, they just thought it was all bullshit, but it wasn't. But yeah, absolutely, this did happen. It happened at the end of, it's a dual carriageway in the Neath, and it's Coton Road, just before the roundabout by the council house. And I was just there, just about to hit the roundabout when the thing fell off. And it just hit the road. So I don't care if you don't believe me. I don't care if that doesn't sound a possible thing. But it 100% happened. But yeah, I will never, ever share a story with you that didn't happen. So I don't care if you don't believe me. Actually, I do, because I told you to fuck off and gave you a thumbs down. But yeah, it's true. I'm never going to share a fake. I'm never going to make a story up. I don't need to. I've got so many that are genuine, I just don't need to. I had a real Datsun 28. I don't know what that is. Probably the one that I won on auction said was rubbish. Datsun, Nissan. I live in the US, and this car has driver's side on the left, and you drive on the right side. I used to have a car where you sit on the wrong side. I had two smart cars, but when I got the first one, I got them when they first come out in the UK, and they were only available with you sitting on the wrong side of the curb. So you're sitting by the curb, and it was a fucking nightmare. It's like you can't see anything, and when you want to have a look, see whether you can overtake someone, you've put half of your car on the other side of the road. So fucking dangerous. Now there was, I don't know what, there is a town somewhere, I don't know the actual facts on this, so I'll just tell you the general gist. There's a town somewhere where they drove on the left, the same as they do in England, but the actual person sat on the left as well, so you were sitting near the curb. And then overnight, they changed the entire town. They changed all the road signs and everything and shifted it to driving on the right. And it massively reduced, I don't know by how much, but it really massively reduced the amount of accidents because people could actually see because you're sitting in the middle of the road instead of by the curb. But there we go. That's a Nissan again. So this as well, Skyline, that's the Nissan Skyline also got 300 credits. The new fine art. Changing the date on your Xbox so you can get stuff early. So a bit cheeky, but there you can do that. I'm not bothered about doing it, but you can. Yeah, someone else said this, I know now. Can anyone tell me why people sell cars on the auction house for more than they sell them in the auto show? I don't know. Why would someone buy a car from the auction house that's more expensive? Oh yeah, here we go. Upgrades. If you're changing the engine out and making it all-wheel drive, it's expensive to do that, then you're selling the car for more money, and maybe that's cost-effective. I don't know. Maybe some people don't realise that they can buy them in the showroom. Or who knows? Here we go. This guy says, have you got ADHD? You go off topic very easily. And then someone said it was mean. I don't think that was mean. It made me laugh. So no, I don't have ADHD, but I have no idea. I've never been checked for it because it weren't a thing when I was growing up. But I do know that I'm slightly on that spectrum a little bit. But to me, these days they have just put a lot of labels on different personalities and then they judge people for it to make everybody the same. It's a real shame. But obviously, if someone has some sort of autistic problem that is quite extreme and interferes with their life, then that's a different matter entirely, and medication can most truly help them. Well, cannabis oil is probably what's going to help them best, but are they going to get it? Probably not. But yeah, I most certainly was dyslexic as a child. I still am now, but anyone who's dyslexic, I used to be so bad at reading anything out loud, I just couldn't do it. But what I've done for a long time now is I'm at home a lot, and if I read a book, I just read it out. I read a huge number of books. I read a lot. And now when I read, I always read it out loud. Sometimes I'll hold the book and I sort of walk around the room and read it like I'm doing a lecture or something like that. But now I'm actually quite good at reading out loud compared to what I was, simply from doing this. So every single book I read now, and I read a few books a week, I read them out loud to the room. I should record it, and then if I wanted to read the book again, I could just listen to it. But yeah, I spend a lot of time doing that, and it really helps. Ah, this is the guy. The best way for wheel spins is when you hit 20 on a road race, do a simple race on the highway and get tons of wheel spins. So this guy, I mean, I did say, can I make a video on this? It's awesome. He didn't actually reply to that, but this is an awesome idea. Chris Barr, what he's basically saying is get to the top level, and then every time it gives you another level, you get wheel spins. So I kind of mentioned this in one of my videos. So it's a really good way of getting loads of credits, loads of influence, loads of wheel spins, loads of skill points. So, and if you're not level 20, then just do what the guy said previously. Go up and down the motorway and create your own blueprint and set it to either road race or whatever else you want to set it to, and get that to level 20. Then you unlock the Goliath, the Colossus, and all that stuff, and you also get a load of wheel spins. Isn't it worth getting the top spin and influence another 2 spins for 20 more points? Are you kidding? No, I'd rather spend those 20 points. Oh, here we go. Yeah, buy another 1982 Porsche or another 1969 Nissan Fairlady and spend your 20 points in there. The way you pronounce Porsche triggers me. Right, I'm assuming you're saying, I know, but it sounds terrible to me. I'm always glad when English people pronounce it right. The guys from Top Gear, for example, yeah, I know this, I know it's wrong. We're supposed to say Porsche, we're supposed to say Nike, but we don't. We say Porsche, we say Nike. It's almost everybody in England says Porsche. Almost everyone in England says Nike. I mean, I've been into a Nike shop and they say Nike in the shop, but we know it's Nike, we know it's Porsche. But it's just, I mean, I said here, we know we're doing it wrong, but we're quite stubborn. But yeah, it is wrong. And it's like, I mean, I've got a friend, I'm not going to tell you his name because I'm going to say something negative about him, but if a word has come from another language, like déjà vu, something like that, he will not pronounce it with the French sort of accent because he thinks it sounds a bit gay. It's just so stupid. But this is another example. I think a lot of people don't say Porsche because they think it sounds a bit silly. What I was saying earlier about the cheeseburger Italiano, people don't want to say Italiano because they think it sounds a little bit flowery, and English people are a little bit funny about that kind of stuff. So yeah, this kind of happens. So I do apologise. Cheers, pal. Using the tip from DJS regarding the Hoonicorn skill point farm at the airstrip. Loads of people do this. I don't really like the airstrip for skill point farming. I go there sometimes just for a bit of variety, but I've stopped skill point farming now because I find that I just get enough skill points driving around in my MT-12. I've got that fully maxed out. It's got a ×7 and a ×3, and it's got a speed boost. So I just drive around in that car, and I just end up getting skill points all the time. They throw them at you. I'm not going to go through any of the replies on the replies. They go with my shorts. Yeah, they do. Not my shorts. Yeah, I said here, not my own shorts. My character has quite sexy gold shorts with white lining, and they go really nicely with the gold and white wheels. So they do, they go with the shorts. I like that. Blimey, that was 104 comments. I mean, this video was published on the 29th of October. I'm not going to do any more. I think that's enough. Sorry if I didn't get to your comments because they're on older ones. When I do this in the future, I'm going to do it this way again. Well, I'll see. I'm going to continue doing these, and I think this way works better than the other way, but this has been, obviously, a long video. So you take care, guys. Have an awesome day, and I am now Because my cleaning lady's here, I feel like I can't really play Xbox when she's here. I don't know why. I feel like I should be working. I mean, she doesn't know what I'm talking about at the moment because I'm talking in English. But when she's here, I feel like I have to do like proper serious work, not play on the Xbox. So I'm going to go to the mall. I've got a lot of work to do on my business for the guy that I've employed yesterday. So I need to kind of train him and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to work on that, get myself to the mall, sit down for 8 hours and have a cappuccino. Oh, guys, if you made it to the end of this one, then congratulations, because it's been a monster. But I hope you appreciate these. It's my way of communicating with you, and if I didn't get to your comment, I'm very, very sorry. There are a lot of comments, so I'll try and skim through the ones that are the same, but obviously, it's been a while since I did the last one of these, so there's going to be a lot of comments in there that I didn't get to, but I also try and answer a few of them as well in the normal way. So that's all from me, guys. I hope you like this. If you like my style, then awesome for you, because I'm not going to change. See you guys soon. Take care. Have an awesome day. I really need to get the next Red Dead Redemption video done. Tomorrow and Sunday and Monday, it's very unlikely I'll do any videos because it's a Labour Day on Monday in Colombia. So Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, I'll be with my wife and maybe with her family as well. But even if it's just me and her, I feel like it's a little bit out of order if when I'm with her, I'm playing Xbox and making videos. So I'm not going to do that whenever we're together. I'm just going to do it when she's at work and I'm by myself. So I get plenty of time to do it through the week. So there's a chance that there will not be a video until Tuesday, unless I manage to squeeze one in because we're doing separate things. Who knows? Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, guys, you take care, have an awesome day, and feel free to leave comments on my comments on comments video about your comments. Cheerio!